Good evening, everybody. It is not only the best day of the week, it's the best day of the month. We're back and we are doing it again. It is another giveaway stream. We've got all the cool shit here. Wolfray, thank you for the host. It's going to be awesome this evening. I need to paint one Knight Armiger between now and the 9th of August. Loads of time. Loads of time. But I thought I'd take this opportunity to show you guys how I paint these guys. So we've been very lucky. We've won quite a few best army prizes for these. They qualified me for No Retreat this year, which is hopefully still taking place at the end of September. And I figured we get a lot of questions, you know, how do you paint yellow? Voodoo, yes! Damn, man. 6 months, dude, indeed. Thank you so much. They get asked a lot, how do we get these hazard stripes down? How do you get your yellow so bright? How do you make black not look boring? Well, tonight I will show you the answer to all of those questions. We've got our two Armigers, cheerleaders this evening, cheering me on while we get their brother painted. We have, of course, got the giveaways to do this evening. We've got exclamation point mystery, the mystery box. Chance for one lucky subscriber to win either the Blood Bowl Minotaur, the Chaos Obliterator, or the contents of the mystery box. Now I know what's in the box. I think it's a damn cool prize. Somebody in the chat might think it's a damn cool prize. But there's also the possibility to win £50 of hobby vouchers. It could be to anywhere you like. GW, Forge World, Rival Crafts. What else have we done? Firestorm Games we've done. I know there have been more. I forget, but those are like the main ones we end up giving away. It's your choice, wherever you want your hobby voucher for, £50 worth. So if you live in a foreign country to myself and you have a different currency, it will be whatever £50 worth of that currency is. That's the voucher you could win just by watching the show. So let's say hello to the chat. We got Tizd, Nidge. I hope you enjoyed that Indomitus box, Nidge. Wolfwraith. Let's get a shout out from my man here. Cellvirus, Milo, Voodoo Yaz, of course, Rocky, Mr. Brutal, Tedious Tau. That's a good name. I like this one. That is a good name. And of course, the chief mod, Mr. Datsun Dez. Let's get it on. So tonight, the giveaway is about to be opened. If you would like the chance to win that £50 hobby voucher, the code you need is exclamation point July 20, a space, and then the number of tickets that you would like to buy. If you're unsure how, exclamation point how, got you covered. Let's move all of the prizes out of the Airbrush Splash Zone. AJC, how's it going, dude? Hope that new house of yours is treating you well. DK, how you doing? Something cool. So tonight, like I said, we're going to be doing a load of hazard stripes. I'll be showing you how to make your blacks look super, super sick and not boring. I'll show you how to make yellow so vibrant that from the other end of the tournament hall, and I've been in some big tournament halls, you can still see your army. It means that when you're socializing, when you're chatting to the other guys and gals there, you can still see your army and make sure no one's run off with it. So, you know, all of these, I've done the black on already, and as you see, we've gone a bit ham with some Tamiya tape. Let's pop those to one side. Tonight I'm going to be working on this. We'll get all the black done on this. I'll show you how to apply the tape to this to mask everything off that you don't want to be black, and you do want, of course, to be that beautiful yellowy orange. And then we'll do all of the yellow, which means right at the end of the stream we get the best part of doing any kind of masking. We start peeling that tape off. It's good. Now these have all been done so that they have a different kind of squad marking to the other Helverins. Both of these, knowing that at some points I'd need to field them as a single unit, have got hazard stripes that along the main carapace are chevrons that go downwards as a V. On the shoulders, again, down as a V. Now they've had the colours changed. So where one is black, the other is yellow. Where the other one is yellow, the other one is black, obviously. But what we're going to do on the other one, on this one, is invert it all. So instead of it being downward facing patterns, we're going upwards with our chevrons. And that way we've got a definite, this is another unit. These two still look cohesive enough to be a unit, but equally, because the patterns are slightly different, we can separate them into 3 separate units if we need to. So that's the theory behind the hazard stripes we've got going on for this one. Let's get started. So the first thing we're going to do is going to crank the airbrush out. We're going to get on with making our black look super, super sick. Now, those of you that have been here for a while will know exactly how this is happening. For some of you that were here at the weekend, we painted the Judicia from the Indomitus box and then repainted it on Tuesday's stream, which was a good stream. I thought that was a good one. But damn, that Ultimates logo. Oh, Kets! Dude, thank you so much for that cheer. What's in the box? Well, you could find out later on. You could find out. Remember, we've got one other contest this evening, and that is, of course, the stream boss. Whoever is stream boss at exactly on the button 11:25 wins 10,000 meeps. That is enough for 25, he says. Yeah, 25 entries into the raffle. So just by being Steam Boss, that's like PC-based video games. That's like the end boss. It's a different boss. It's the stream boss. Just by being stream boss, you could win 50 quid. Crazy, right? Last month's voucher did get turned into Nagash. That's a cool prize. That's a very cool prize. I'm hoping to see that Nagash in the whip soon, by the way. You know, I mean, get on with that shit, right? So here we go. Those of you that, like I said, tune in at the weekend or have been here a while will know this is how I like to paint black. Gaben, I have no idea who that is. Windy, how you doing, buddy? Good to see you. Emgraining. Oh, how is your stream giveaway, man? Like, I saw your Instagram post. That looked like it was going to be a heck of a stream. So I hope that was a fun one. We're going to start off with a coat of Secret Weapon Tire Black. As you can see, this isn't really black. It's kind of a little bit blue. There's this odd little greenish tinge to it. Oh, dude. Oh, it sucks. I was out, otherwise I'd have tuned in, but I was busy, so. Went out for the first time since fucking, let's say February. I needed that. It's been a long summer so far. Are the meeps not going down when we enter the comp? No, you should. Oh, wait. Ah, fuck. You're right. Damn it. That's my bad. Sorry, guys. Reset the giveaway. That's done. I forgot to use those 2 buttons. Let's start that one again. Damn. We failed. We failed. You all basically got 1 entry. So I forgot to turn on the ticket cost and the max tickets, which you can now see on there. So now if you buy your tickets, you'll have your meeps. So, Kets, if you check your meeps now, you should see that they have definitely gone down. Although now the bot's going to be like, so much stuff is happening! The maximum number of tickets you can get is 1 million. Not even Rocky's got that many. So, thank you guys. So yeah, this is what we're starting off with, Tire Black. This is going to go over the entirety of this surface. Now this is a really, really thick paint from Secret Weapon, so we're going to use probably about 2-to-1 flow improver for this. Let's see how we get on with that. Cheers, boys and girls. Let's hope that's the only thing we do wrong tonight. I mean, the chances are slim that that's the only thing. Hurts us! He's getting this sub on. Notice how that has both damaged the boss and, of course, given him meeps. This is a great, great thing. The screen is a bit wavy. I'm not sure what's going on with that. I think that was just a focus issue. No, it's still wavy. It's just a heat haze coming off the desk, clearly. What the fuck? That's weird. Right, give me 1 sec. Let me see if I can fix that. Camera's drunk. Camera could be drunk. Okay, reading the screen. Okay, not entirely certain what that was. It seems to have calmed down now, though, so we'll go with it. So, like I said, Tire Black all over the Mini. And what we'll do first, we just do half of it, so you can see the difference that this has. Once applied over a black undercoat, black primer. Yeah, it seems to be okay now. So there you are, you can see the difference between that and just a straight, normal, everyday black primer, right? Give that a quick dry down with a hairdryer. Stop it being glossy. It is like 30 degrees here, which sucks. Especially for using this. So there we go. You see we've got a bit of a difference. Nothing crazy, like nothing super, super weird, but just enough of a difference to start making our black look a little bit more interesting than it would otherwise be. Normally when people do black, they take some regular black paint, so was it Baden Black from GW, or I used Thramar Black from P3, and then they just simply edge highlight it with something along the lines of just lighter greys, or a blue grey and then a light grey. Maybe even up to white in the very, very edges, right? And what you end up with that is a very glossy black, but it's still a flat black. There's no real crazy depth to it. There's no real interest to it. It's just, here's some somewhat shiny black. Now, that's a technique that I use for doing things like bolt guns, like random bits of weaponry where you'd expect it to be, if this was the 21st century and not the 41st millennium, you'd expect it to just be like a black gun or whatever. Is it a really dark blue? It's a really dark teal. Matt, thank you so much, dude. Much appreciated, brother. So, it's... if you really look at it, in some lights, there's an ever so slight kind of yellowy green tinge to it. It's just a really weird color. But it's called tire black because it is almost exactly the same color as car tires. So there's loads of stuff going on with that. Leaving a little of that in the pot, we're going to grab some of our flow improver. And nano, as Des is so rightly said, it is the Eye Water Eclipse. And now we're going to start off with some Gravedigger Denim. Not, as I call it the other day, Bogrim Brown. That we use in a bit. Gravedigger Denim. This is an amazing colour from P3. If you can't get hold of this, then there are some Games Workshop colours that are kind of similar. This is a little bit of a lighter, the Fang. A bit more blue in here and a little less purple. So I strongly suggest everyone gets hold of some of this. It's super useful. So let's get some of that in the pot. And I'm just going to drop in a little extra tire black because by the time we've done 2 good coats of that, we'd run out entirely. I just want a little of this colour moving forward to help keep our blends nice and smooth. No big step changes. We talked about that briefly on Tuesday night stream where we told you guys how to do SciEx, type in exclamation point how, that will help you out. The underscore in that represents space. But yeah, we talked about how you need to be very careful when blending and going super thin, but also how we were mixing back and forth in between the little glaze pots and little wash pots that we sort of made up for ourselves. So now we're moving into the highlight stage. And if we grab one of these guys, let's see how those highlights are working out. And I'm just going to change the focus one more time because otherwise we'll be slightly out of focus all effing stream and it'll annoy me. There you go. When we turn the camera off and on again, it reset that. Much better. So this is the orientation of the backpack. You see we've obviously got things like OSL going on at the back. We've got a load of like metal trim to do. But we need to work out where this is going to match our boy here. Now, one of the things that I thought about doing is extending the hazard stripes on this guy over this central hatch. But I kind of like it being a nice dark panel in the middle. Because by the time you've added in this little bit of glass, by the time you've got things like the gun floating around on top of that, then there's plenty of other stuff there to kind of detract you from seeing the stripes anyway. And I like that that just brings it into a nice border. So we're going to do the same thing. So now what we need to do is look for our highlights. We know that this is going to have loads of highlights on because of the fact that that will be plain black. But the rest of it, we're looking at things like the edges, the top of this sort of crest for the shoulder pad, little bits around the back there, and of course, just underneath the gun, this nice bulbous area just up here at the top. The Dyson, how you doing, dude? So now we know where we're going with our highlights, and Hicko, he's here as well. Let's start getting them on the Mini. Let's start with the stuff around the edges, and then we can come into this section in the middle where we can get any overspray that's gone on there from doing all these other bits and just tidy that up. So start on this one side, and we'll hit these sort of shoulder areas. So you want to go on nice and thin, take your time, as always with the airbrush. We're going to leave a nice recess just in the underside of that shoulder pad, so you can start seeing where we're getting these highlights in already. just essentially edge highlighting this section with our airbrush. Bring in that highlight a little bit further on there. Get a nice second pass in. And then down here, I know most is going to get covered up by silver and USL, but let's get a nice highlight building up in the center part. Flip the mini and do this side. There we go. So let's make sure this is nice and even. This shoulder needs another pass for definite. The back of there needs another pass as well. So always check your work, guys. Okie dokie, so we've got a nice dark shadow in this crevice, dark shadow under both of these shoulder panels. Let's do a little bit more up here now. And we'll also, if we turn the mini to the side, we'll try just getting a quick edge highlight on the top panel there. Hicko, I'm good, dude. How are you? Hope you've managed to finally get your paint on now after sorting the house out. So just feathering those in using the airbrush, so it, as we move the airbrush across, we get to about the point my finger is, we start the paint. As it gets to about here, we release the paint and just flick it at the end. And that just gives a nice little dusting past the point where we've let go and gives a nice real smooth fade going through. Moon! How you doing, brother? Same here. So again, it's more of a edge highlight than anything else, but just get a little on there. And by doing it from this side, we're keeping a nice dark recess in here, but we're still getting that nice smooth transition up onto that final edge. Get your calculator out here, Co. Do some maths. Like, break it down into easy numbers, right? Main unit, what's up? And we'll do the same this side, and then we can look at that top section and really start bringing out some of the detail that we're going to preserve with our hazard stripes. So up here, we've got this area, which we know is just in front of the gun, and we know from looking at those that we're going to get a pretty good highlight on there. So let's start from there. I'm going to face the mini this way, just so that we can get a little highlight that's easy to control in its depth in this direction. And we keep these almost as little specular highlights, but just terminating around there. We're going to do Cake Fisk. He's getting his sub going on as well. That's 3 months, man. Thank you so much for that. There we are. Now, we need to do this entire panel, which, like I said, we're going to leave black. We're not going to do hazard stripes on that, and I will show you shortly how to effectively mask every single part of that. So, let's do right at the very top, because obviously that's the highest point on this panel. That needs to have that highlight. I'm going to try not to get so much of it on here, so when we're spraying this way, we need to be very careful how much overspray we get. So working very, very short bursts. Tiny amount of paint each time. That's where all that airbrush control comes from, guys, remember. Talked about that a lot. It's not about the paint consistency. You can make it as thin as you like. It could be practically water. As long as you're controlling how much paint you've got, you spray whatever PSI you like. Now I'll work down the sides here. So similar to how we did here, but we want to get a bit more on that top surface this time. So we'll start off this way. Feather that in. And we still want it to be a nice dark area here and a slightly brighter highlight going down there to give us some separation. Just gently start bringing that highlight down. And then we can turn the mini so we're spraying a bit more onto the vertical panel. Sorry, the top panel, not the vertical panel. It's been a long day today. I finally started learning how to code today, which means my brain has basically had it. So you know how I frequently say stupid shit? It's going to be even more of that this evening. So, yay. You guys are in for a great show. And then let's do this side. So same deal, start from here. Start getting that highlight just disappearing off down this panel. Winner, yeah, exactly. What this is, you're working from the model with the airbrush that looks close from the camera angle. I suspect it's not. Oh, we're about an inch and a half away. I work very, very close with the airbrush. Dimmerborg, thank you for that follow. The reason behind that is because if you work really close, as long as you have adequate control, then you're not allowing your cone of air and paint that's hitting the miniature to disperse very much. So if you need to get in for a really tight highlight, you can do. But it's all about that control. We spray at about 45 psi. So way, way above the you should airbrush at number that people come up with. Partially to show that it's bollocks and you don't need to listen to that at all, but also because it works. Oh, Des gifting a sub, and at the same time, Andy comes in and gets his sub as well. Love you too, brother. Let me give Moon his meeps. Oh, Moon, you need to be spending these as well. You're sat at 15k, man. Good to see you, though, Andy. Hope you're able to stick around for the stream tonight. It's giveaway day, man. Right. So you see now we've got a nice highlight, gradual highlight along that panel. Need to do something about this bit as well, though, because if we end up with a hazard stripe that leaves this middle section dark, it's going to be really flat and boring. We can't allow that, so we just need to get in there. So what we're going to do, we're not going to mask this. Got all that to do later on. We'll just eyeball this and get it on. We'll come in from the top and we'll start building up with a tiny amount of paint coming through our airbrush to help keep that cone, that little target we've got, super tight. We'll just trace the lower edge and we'll trace that nice straight line that works its way through the whole panel without getting any on the lower section of this. Just tiny amounts of paint. That's the secret to this, guys. You can use your thumb, your finger, whatever. I don't give a shit. Whatever works for you. That's how we do things here. You find your way. This is my way. It works for me. You find your way that works for you. It might be the same as my way. Might be completely different. You might only be able to airbrush effectively if you are standing on your head. At which point, I strongly suggest that you start wearing the cap that goes on this, otherwise airbrush paint to the face. It's not going to be good. No one's going to enjoy that. No one's going to enjoy that. So there we go. Now we've got a nice highlight. I do want to just smooth this one out a little bit. It just looks a little abrupt. It sort of starts and then it's solid and that's it. Ooh, 5 AM start. That's grim. Unlucky, brother. Still, pays the bills, keeps you in plastic crack. That's all that matters, right? That and happiness. Secondary to plastic crack. You start at 5 as well. Fuck that noise. Unless it's a Thursday, which is the day that me and my housemate do our groceries in the morning. It's still trying to avoid the crowds of people. I don't even get out of bed till 8 o'clock. And that's not work day. It's like out of bed, shower, down here, good to go. 5 minutes before the start of my shift, away we go. After day shift, you'll start at 5 as well. Damn, man. Lots of people with early days starts here. This is a sad state of affairs. Right, so that's our first highlight. Now, if you're going for something that's super, super, super dark, you could leave it here and then just brush highlight in just a few little edges just to peek out some of that little bit of detail, but otherwise you are done. What we're going to do now, I'm going to flush a load of that paint through the airbrush. It may seem wasteful. That's why it's best to do stuff like this in batches. Sometimes it's a case of you have to make up more than you want to use simply because you need to get your consistency right. And we just need to leave a little left in the part of this before we start working in our next colour, which is our next airbrush highlight, which is this Administratum Grey. Whoop whoop, you're a sub. You are a sub, dude. Huge thanks to That's Undead for that. You start at 4:45, so gutted. We're gonna have to watch the rerun on YouTube. Somebody had to start earlier. Turns out it's Pearl Jam. Dude, peace out. See you soon. So now, we're gonna go crazy thin and go 4:1. Flow Improver to paint. So 4 drops of Flow Improver to 1 drop of paint. And that's so that we've got a glaze coming out of our airbrush. Now, we talked about glazes on Tuesday. We did loads of glazing on Tuesday. Showed you guys how to do that by hand with the brush, painting a Dark Angel shoulder pad for our good friend Nick McDade. First day back to work after 5 months off. It's going to be a shell shock, man. You have to work till 3 a.m. Hang on, I thought you said you started work at... Oh wait, no, somebody else, sorry. No, that just means that you're late. That's all. There we go, cool. So, very, very thin paint here. Got to do the same again, but this time we need to keep it much, much smaller, much more under control. There's going to be a lot more of just like feathering the trigger, that sort of back and forth rocking motion that we do every now and again. Let me show you how that works. So we're going to start on this shoulder pad. So just touching that trigger. We've got loads of air coming out, and then the tiniest bit of paint. Now once you've got your eye in, once you're sort of locked in and you know exactly where your sort of bite point is, anyone that drives a car will understand exactly what I'm talking about with that. You can be a little bit more freehand, a little bit more sort of eager with it. But you can see how now we've got this really nice bright edge to this. But it still gives us that transition. We're still moving from one over across to the other with it. Could be doing the same. No. Facias, that one's not. That one's just by watching. The space, the underscore is a space. Do exclamation point how, it will sort you out. Same here. Now we're leaving. Gonna grab a cocktail stick. I'll be using these a lot in a minute. We're leaving a little bit of room between here and here for our highlight. We want this to be nice and light and a little darker area, and then back up to a really nice light. This is a nice protrusion, and away you go. And it still looks blue. Just you wait, man. Just you wait. Remember that Judicia? That was definitely black, but it wasn't black. Whilst we've got this airbrush highlight going down, you guys have got to remember there is definitely going to be brushed highlights on top of this. We don't finish anything with just the airbrush here. The airbrush is a tool. We use it a lot. We love it. It's my favorite thing in the world to airbrush. when it comes to miniature painting. But it's part of a process. Part of a process. What's the known prizes? Well, Andy, since you are so nicely, we've got the Blood Bowl Minotaur, which is an epic, epic Forge World sculpt, and the Obliterator. I kind of hope this guy gets picked, because he's a great toy soldier to paint. Loads of areas for detail. We got some freehand opportunities going on, depending upon Legion, of course. This guy's a baller. So, it's all good. And then, of course, there is the mystery box. And the wonders that it may contain. Could be anything in that box. Could be new minis. Could be old minis. Could be limited edition minis. A whole range of stuff that it could be. I can't have said it as sub only. Please tell me I haven't said it as sub only. Oh, fuck, I have. Yeah, the giveaway's kind of fucked. That sucks. So we either refund everyone their meeps and we start all over again, Like I said, guys, it's been a very long day as far as my brain goes. And as a result, some bad shit has happened. Okay, here's what we'll do. I will refund everyone their meeps. And I'll round it up for the trouble. So, don't enter. That's everyone. Get a quick screenshot of that and who's in. Let's go to here. Chuck that in. Close the giveaway. Reset it. Change the mission to everyone, like we should have done beforehand. And let's give everyone their meeps. And then I'll open the giveaway again. So this is kits, 24 times 4, so we call it 5k. Done. No, it's closer to 10k. Sorry, I only know the 5. There you go. Nidge. You had 63, so we'll just call that 28,000. There you go, mate. Des, that's 10k. Crownblade, call it 7.5. I'm rounding up on all of these. 6, that's 13.6. Voodoo Yaz, 20 times 4, that's 8k. That puts you at 32 and some change. Sorry, I'm just going to ignore the chat for a bit, so apologies, but mistakes have been made. That's just where we're at. December Wind, you bought 10 tickets, that's easy, that's 4k on those. Andy, you also bought 10, so that's another easy one. Happy days. Well, you definitely got room for more though. So that puts you to 19. Smithy, I didn't see that, mate. You bought 27, so that's 10. We'll call it 11. So that doubles what you've got. AJC. You bought 40. Hot damn. Hot damn. So, for 16k, which is 32. Milo. That's 400 for you. No, sorry, 4,000 for you. So push it at 8. Wooden spoon. That was about 20k's worth. So that's 103. Empiers. You bought 2 tickets, that's 800. We'll call it 1,000. Round up. Boom. Hertus. Bought his 1 lucky ticket. You can afford more. Buy more. Odin's Wolf. You bought 10, that's 4k. You've definitely got room for more. Nemod. You bought 5, that's 2.5k. So it puts you 3, 4, 5, 6, 2, 60. Sec. You want 9. We'll call it 4k. Boom. Cryptic. Okay, either you've got 4 usernames or this is just weird. You bought 14, so that's 4, 5, call it 12. Call it 6k. So yeah, 12. Yeah. Cake Fisk. Got 10, nice and easy one, thank you. 19. And the Dyson. There you go, you bought 17. We'll just round that up. 17 times 4, 28. 40, 68, 7k. Bang. Right, everyone should be in a better position than when they started. I don't know, it's bought an equal amount of tickets. And at that point, if you're unhappy about not being in a better position, then write me a letter. We'll go that way. Right, now we'll restart the giveaway. The command is correct. The prize is correct. The join permission is correct. Ticket cost and max tickets are correct. The giveaway is once again open for the 3rd time now, and that is the charm. Let's go back to doing some airbrush work, which I actually know how to do. So you got what you had? Cool. Don't worry about it. Smithy, check your meeps, spend your meeps. That's all we're going to go with. Sorry about that, everyone. Happened. Let's draw a line under it, move on. I just want to paint yellow. Just want to paint yellow and black. Just want to do hazard stripes. That's all I want to do. That's all I want to do. Did Mikey come over? Yeah, fucking could have done. Technical difficulties we've had today. But it's cool. That part is done and out of the way, and I feel I have deserved this. Yo, what up, Zen? So, same as the other side. Get the top of that shoulder pad will get a little bit up towards the back end of this. That's where it's starting to get that little look of being black and not being blue. It's a little bit of blue tinge to it, which is perfect. It's great. It's exactly what we want. It contrasts off of yellow so much better. Stops that black looking flat and boring and dull. Like, nobody wants that. Check up every now and again, make sure everything is even. There we are. Right, now we can do this middle section. Obviously this is important because this is the final airbrushed highlight for some of this area. You need to be sure that is absolutely spot on. With a marble, yeah, mate, loads. Yo, marble's easy. Like, there's a way you can do it with an airbrush using a baby wipe that I've never done. But it's a good way of doing it. I tend to do it with a brush. It's one of the few things I actually just do by brush. If I ever had to do a lot of it, then I do the baby wipe thing. And what you do is you take a dried out baby wipe, because you don't want any of whatever chemicals, and regardless of how nice it is to a baby's skin, you don't really want any of that being put onto your mini. You can use a dryer sheet, which is basically the same material but with a different thing on it. It's got like powder on it. Make sure you've used it, so use a used dryer sheet. And then you basically just sort of stretch it out, make some holes in it, get some little rents and tears, spray down one colour onto the base that you want your veins, and then use that as a mask, and you spray paint on top of that to give you your little lines in your marble through the mask. What PSI? About 45. Penstar, how you doing? How do you find the push-fit models in Dominus Box? It's strange way to put push-fit kits in the box aimed at veterans. Why was that a box aimed at veterans? I don't understand. Also, why would they not put push-fit minis instead of much harder to make, much more expensive to make, and much more expensive to buy minis when they're putting that box up for 125 quid? Crosbyization! It is a giveaway stream, man, and that's a year. That's a year. That came around fast as well, dude. So the Indomitus box isn't necessarily a set aimed at veterans. It's just not a set aimed at someone that's literally just starting the hobby. So if you're about to start playing 40k, that wasn't the box for you, but it kind of was the box for you at the same time, right? Because you've got a fuck ton of plastic. Fuck ton of plastic. For a very, very low price. £125 is a ridiculously small amount of money for the amount of stuff in that box. There was what, 50 something minis, maybe even 60 something minis, I can't remember. They claim it was aimed at people already in the hobby. That's correct. But here's the thing, right? There's some people in the chat that I know have been in the hobby for a while, but I wouldn't call them veterans at all. Like, at all. Do you have to be in the stream when you do the draw as much to shoot? No, absolutely not, mate. Just make sure you check your messages on Twitch tomorrow. See if you've won. $61 minis. There you go, see? So a whole heap of plastic. And the reason they're cheaper to make is because they're monopose. So in terms of things like the design, that's cheaper to get designed. It's then cheaper to be tooled because you have less parts. For instance, like you've got a entire torso attached to a pair of legs rather than a pair of legs attached to nothing, a torso, front and back to have to do, and so on and so on and so on. So they're cheaper to make. When would you call somebody a veteran? Give it a couple of years, once they've played a couple of armies, you know, that sort of thing. Not, I played 3 games, because that's not, like, you're a novice. You know. You're someone that is learning the hobby. Like, there's no definite time limit on it, but certainly somebody that understands the game, whichever game it is that they want to play, from like a fundamental perspective. They've got all the rules down, they know their shit, basically. Someone that spent a lot of time around the hobby, so whether it's been either collecting a lot of armies or creating something that is beautiful and not in a subjective sense, but you know, that area, then I'd say they're a veteran. There's a big difference between someone that's like novice, journeyman, whatever like normal dude is, and then veteran. Right, last part of our black highlights. And notice how we're trying to keep these to sort of top half or so. I'm having a little bit of issue with the temperature today. Just having to clog the airbrush needle, but we're okay. Boom. So now we've got a very nicely airbrush highlighted top carapace for our knight. Let's flush this out, rinse it through. How thin is the paint? Extremely. So, yeah, compressor's working fine, mate. Just needed to clean. Bodmin, I airbrush at 45 psi, and my paint, which is already thinned to get it into these bottles from whatever tubs it was in, regardless of company that makes the paint, then gets thinned at bare minimum 1:1 with flow improver and paint in the airbrush. And then sometimes the last coat we put down there was 4:1 flow improver to paint. So very, very, very thin at extremely high psi. Now you're not necessarily doing something wrong. Everyone should have their own way of painting, their own style and their own process, all right? However, there are a load of people in the mini painting world, especially those that are on YouTube and so on, that would like to make it sound very much like they're an expert at what they do. And so they tell you a rule. This is the way, and that is it. You do it this way or you're doing it wrong. And I prove a lot of those people and the way that they say, here's how you do it, wrong. Gonna knock the compressor off for a bit. And then while I talk, I'm going to give this a quick coat of this, Tester's Dull Coat. Best varnish you can buy. Tricky to find, but it's one of those things. Nidge, you're absolutely right. That's what I said. You've got to find your way. So I will show you guys my way. Because for me it works. And for one other person out there, the Johnsonator! That's another 12-month. That's a veteran of this stream. There we go. We'll call the Johnsonator a veteran. So you have to find what works for you. I'll show you my way in the hope that it opens up a few people's eyes to different ways of doing things. And maybe they try my way and go, fucking hell, Jay is onto something. This is great. I'm going to do exactly what Jay does because he gets a really good effect and I like it. But maybe somebody takes what I do and instead of copying it exactly, they go, you know what, Jay, there's this one thing that I really, really like, so I'm going to steal that. Everything else, I'm going to do a different way that somebody else has shown me, but that one thing from Jay, I'm going to do that. And then you start building your own path at that stage. You're forging ahead with your own way of painting. It could be anything that you've taken from anybody's stream. Whatever works for you. That's the deal, right? Like I said, I show you my way, which works for me. Hopefully somebody out there gets something from this. Right, for now, I'm going to take the glove off because it's about to be a bit more of a hindrance than a help. We've just given this guy a coat of varnish. Lordy, how's it going, man? Doing well. We've had a little bit of a false start this evening, but we're finally rocking and rolling. I believe everyone's managed to get themselves back in the raffle as well. Nidge, you're in. Cake Fix in. Looks like everyone, even Farsiar's made it in. There we go. Awesome. What we're going to do now is we're going to start designing our hazard stripe for this main unit with a sub as well. Nearly killed that boss too. Keep an eye on that. Keep an eye on that. I'll print you one. How's it going? We now need to take this carapace and turn it into something that looks a lot closer to this carapace. So all of these hazard stripes that we've got going on here, we need to replicate on that. Oh, you have too many meeps? Probably not. So, a couple of great things for that. Tamiya tape. This stuff is worth its weight in gold. Doesn't weigh a lot. Maybe it's worth more than its weight in gold. This stuff is amazing. Yeah, I rounded up. Don't worry about it. If you're at more than you had before, it's all good. Because we had to refund them. This stuff. This is masking tape. Except it's not. This isn't like the masking tape that you'd buy at Wilkinson's for £1 and then would like put on something and it peels up immediately afterwards. This is painter's tape. Painter's tape is like masking tape on roids. Is it worth your weight in gold? I can think of asteroids that may not be worth your weight in gold, Andy. This stuff's 10 quid a roll, and it is worth it. It really, really, really is. Because when it goes down, it stays down, doesn't peel off very easily. It will when you start applying heat and stuff to it, which you'll see later on. But it also has such low tack that it doesn't pull the paint up. So you said you'd be afraid of pulling paint up. The last 2 of these, we did these 2 on stream. And there was a guy in the stream who was, frankly, a bit of a dick. And he was adamant that the tape, this tape, in fact, this exact tape, would remove paint from the miniature. That was unvarnished. Didn't varnish it at that point. He's like, look, you'll pull the paint up. Like, you won't. I won't. You will! Like, no, I won't. I bet you will. Bet me what? So we made a bet with him. If any single tiny fleck of paint got pulled up by this tape, I would double his meeps. If not a tiniest amount of paint got pulled up, I'd zero him out. He got zeroed out. Then we went and raided Hobo J's stream, and Hobo J is the guy that told me about this tape. And he whinged and moaned and bitched at Hobo J, and he went, was he using the white tape? Yeah. Stupid bet, man. This stuff's brilliant. This stuff's also brilliant. That almost cost its weight in gold. Can and all. Like, it's expensive shit. So these are the 2 things that we will use predominantly. But there is one other thing which is vital to the success of this tape working and masking correctly. Clint Eastwood used to carry one of these around. A lot. They are vital to this. And it is a toothpick. As you can see, this one's well used. Doesn't matter. But you need this. Otherwise, this will be a lot harder. So, we're going to establish our pattern, and that's mostly done using this tape. And then once we've done that tape, we're going to just mask off that entire area using our big fat white painter's tape. As we said earlier at the start of the stream, these guys, we've got the chevrons going downwards. To help denote this is from a different unit, we're going to do the chevrons the other way up. So everything's pointing upwards on the mini. The same reverse scheme on things like your shoulder pads, which go up rather than come down. Knee pads, legs, you name it. Let's just grab a section of tape and work out where we're going to start. Because you've got all these little bits of detail on the mini, then we can use these as a reference point for where we want our stripes to be. Now here's where masking gets a little bit difficult. You have to get your head around the fact that wherever we put the yellow, which is what this tape is, it's going to be black, and wherever is black on the mini is going to be yellow. That takes some doing. So let's take these stripes. So where these little recesses are here, because this is a large area on the mini, at the front of the mini, right by the mini's head, I want these bits to be yellow. And I want a little black triangle to be in just here. So we need to put no tape on these bits, but put tape on the bits next to it either side so that bit's yellow, that bit's black, and that bit's black. And we're using yellow tape. So it doesn't make it easy. First thing I'm going to do is just tear off a tiny amount of this tape. I'm going to use this as our little mark. So we want the chevrons also to be directly up the center of the Mini. So you have to make sure that when they cross over, the junction point is on a direct line up from here. So knowing that, and knowing that on a little black triangle here, I can put this bit of tape between that bottom corner of this little access pad, or whatever this is meant to be. And then where that crosses over the middle part of here, we're going to trim it off later. I'm not going to do it right now because we need this bit of tape. And because we want this bit to be yellow and this bit to be black, and we want our hazard stripes to be even, we have to take the tape, hold it in place so we can work out where we need to then put it down. And you can see we've got this little bit of detail here. That's going to help us out. And then this bit of detail down here, this little rivet just at the bottom. So now we know that if the tape is right next to this bit of tape, which will give us one width of tape, I'm going to say the word tape 8 trillion times. Dasher, thank you for following. We now need to take the other edge of that tape and put it in the same place. Now that'd be great if this was a flat surface. But it isn't a flat surface. So, this top part is flat. That's where we're going to use this great big piece of yellow from. But if we do this immediately down from there, we then have to make sure that the gap here looks about right, because you'll notice there's a slight crease in this tape where it's gone over these rivets. There's another crease that will come in at the bottom, and every time you put a bend in it, you risk it bending that way as well. So where the tape, imagine my hands are the tape, this is the width of the tape. While you bend it like that, it may also bend like this because you're on a 3D surface. Which means you just have to make sure, just by eye, that every single one of these bits is about right. If it's not about right, you'll notice. But if it is about right, by the time we've got battle damage on, highlights on, washes on, all of those things, you won't notice. People won't see the tiniest thing. Now your most important tool comes out. The reason I use this, instead of what I've seen a lot of people do, which is this, is because this is nice and soft. These are super cheap, shitty cocktail sticks. And they're the best ones to get for this. Because this will bend before it does any damage to this. Come on, Bob. You've missed a lot. Chevron's going across the back at an angle. I did that once with the first knight I did, and I just took the tape off. I didn't like it. I thought about that. I thought about doing like a set sort of this way across a main knight's carapace. It was not good. Evil Beard! Thank you very much, dude. Much appreciated. As a subscriber, you are now eligible to enter our subscriber-only giveaway later on in the stream, where you could win a miniature painted by me. You have the choice of the phenomenal Forge Roared Minotaur for Blood Bowl, or a Chaos Space Marine Obliterator, or, if neither of those take your fancy, the contents of the mystery box. Also, Nick McDade, I saw you in there somewhere. Did you get a parcel from me today? Because if so, I want to know if it arrived safe. So using this, you can use the flat of it to help smooth down these sections. Use it to make sure that any of these little crevices, you just get in and around. Certainly on this, it's going to be super important later on. And then that's our first piece of tape laid down. Happy days. Now what we need to do is get the other one from the other side laid in. Hope the tape works, you don't mess up. Dude, I've done this. How many big knights have we got? 5, 2 armigers, so 7. Done 7 knights already. Then we've done a load of admech shit. I've done this once or twice. So, now you've got the same line in. Now, because this little piece of tape is slightly in the way, you're not at home. Oh, dude. Text your missus. Just going to carefully, through several light... We're not really cutting this, we're sort of more scoring it. Just going to get that bit of tape. And rip it off. We don't need to worry about that end being super, super sharp. Because that's not going to be the end where our little chevron stops. It's not hubris, it's arrogance. I know I'm good. Therefore, it's okay. Gives me self-confidence. So we line this up. And now we know from this side, we've got a little 3D map of where this would hit. It's just past that little joint. So if we get this section nice and flat, and then try and get that without too much of a kink in it. Get that down there. And check out where we've got to. So as before, as long as it's about right, you're good. And that is about right. There's about 0.5 mil difference between that side and that side. It's not going to matter. Because you won't see it. Again, by the time you've got little bits of battle damage in anywhere you think it's a little bit more than needs to be, you're okay. So just flatten that down, get nice and flush to the mini. And then tuck that in underneath to keep it out of the way. Cool, so we've got that one. Let's tidy that up. We know that this section is going to be left masked off, but I don't want all of that sort of overhang that we've got going on there. So I'm just going to trim this section off. So again, carefully just scoring through the tape, tiny amount of pressure, not trying to leave any marks on the miniature at all. Just get that done. And now we build this further down. It's the same thing over again. Get some tape. Take one of these lines. So now we'll work this side. Lay the tape down in a place that's kind of close to where you want to be. And start looking for details what you can use to get your placing right. So we've got on these little this hinge, trying to think of the right word, it just intersects with the bottom of that one. So we know that on the top side of the tape needs to now be on the bottom side of the tape. Obviously that's only one of 2 points we need to get a straight line. So let's see what else we've got. We've got this rivet just here. So where that rivet is and where this little mark is here, that both of those now need to be at the bottom side of our tape. So let's unpeel the tape. Grab that rivet. Grab that section of that hinge. Pop that into place around the middle. And then, as before, try and keep that line nice and straight and equidistant from this one now. So we've got a nice straight line to airbrush down. Leonidas of Sparta 69. Thank you very much for that follow. I'm assuming the other 68 Leonidases were part of the 300. And you were clearly the only survivor. Congratulations. So again, get it nice and flush to the mini. Work through all of these areas, getting this nice and flat. Now, somewhere like this, where we've got this rippled surface for the sort of the vent, we'll call it, you just know you're going to get some spray in there and it's not going to be ideal. But that's totally fine, because these areas are going to be really, really dark. We're going to put some oils perhaps in there, maybe even just some normal acrylic washes just to darken those recesses down, so it doesn't matter so much if that happens. We carry this on right up the back. We won't bother about here because we know that's not going to work, because the center line that we've got here, that's where the cutoff is going to be for this chevron. Now to do the other side. Oh, Viking, no worries. Did you get your package yet? I imagine not, because it's only been a couple of days, but I'm super excited about you getting your macro. Peckish! What up, man? Highway to the Iron Zone is absolutely right. I'm within. Right. We've got, fortunately, details are in exactly the same place. They were symmetrical. But what we do have, which is annoying, is this little spike. And all you can do about that is try and push it through the tape. That's basically all you've got. So you need to lie the tape down in the right place. And then if you just cut a little slit in there, boom. Now if you didn't do that, you'd end up with a protrusion that would move the tape more than is really allowable to help keep your pattern. So let's get this down, make sure that our distance here is about right. So another great thing about the cocktail stick, it's a straight edge. Yeah, that looks pretty bang on to me. And again, get this nice and flush to your surface, get it into all of these little recesses as well. And so on, right? And this is why it's a good idea to varnish the Mini beforehand. You don't always have to do it. The last time we did it, like I said, I didn't use varnish, so I was in a hurry. I had a tournament in I think I had a tournament about 2 days after the stream, so it needed to be done. And then not only that, when I went to that tournament, this was the Bristol City Open. I went with Mikey last year. They had a painting contest on that was being judged by Andy Wardle. And this night, with no battle damage, no OSL, no brushed highlights, won bronze in that category. He just looked at me and went, I really like that. Let's get the medal. Andy fucking Wardle liked my toy soldier. I was the happiest person there. Then we went undefeated at the event as well. That was a damn good event for me. Jay, my Iron Warriors are, yes, my Knights are Iron Warriors loyalist. That's literally their lore as well that I've written for them. That's what they are. That's what they do. Loyalist Iron Warriors. Alright, got a little kink in this, but that's fine, because again, battle damage will help sort it out. And now what we need to do is just trim this. Stop it being in the way. Now, I'd advise you to always have a fresh X-Acto blade in when you do this. Or whatever craft knife you're using, make sure it's extremely sharp, because the sharper it is, the less pressure you have to use, but it just goes through that top layer of tape. You've got less chance of putting any damage on the Mini. Perfect. Commissar Bob, one of those should have worked. Check your meeps, mate. Do exclamation point how. Right. So you can't afford 3. That's why. Right. Let's do one more. And then possibly even one more. So let's just pop this bit of tape on there, just briefly. Work out what areas we've got that we can use as our guides. So there's not a lot there, which is unfortunate. Let me move the tape slightly because I think I've got a guide point further up. It's why it's always advisable to use longer tape than you need. Yeah, we do. Perfect. So right here, we've got a rivet. So that needs to be on the bottom side of the tape. And then we could use sort of the top corner of that one. So that's the second one up. And that would be on the bottom side of the tape as well. Dickhead. Is it poor form to just go all in? No, absolutely not, man. Do it. Do it. Bottom that out. So not quite right. About there. Oh, we did have a marker. We had a little one there. Right, here is a perfect example of what I was talking about earlier on. Put the tape on like that. Look at that gap. Much thinner gap there than we've got here. And that's because the way this curves around. Yeah, it starts guiding the tape down the model rather than across the model. So now we need to basically compensate for that. Easiest way, all those little bits of tape that we tore off earlier on. Bad Moons! Getting his sub on. Oh wait, no, it's Ringsting Gifting one. Bad Moons with a Z. Let me give you your meeps. There you go, buddy. That's 3K for you. You're in. Now, as well, because you're a sub, you're eligible for our potential mystery prize giveaway later on today. Exclamation point mystery in the chat. Get some more details on that. You could win a mini painted by me. So if we pop that little bit of tape in there, look at how much difference that curve has made. So this, we know, has to finish there to have that line up. Now what we need to do is just bend that around all of these bits of surface area to ensure that still happens. There's even no idea. Might not even be here, mate. You know. But he has watched 4 hours of the stream, so that's encouraging at least. So again, just start getting this down. Now you'll end up now with areas where we can start approaching the trim. These are super important to be flush to. Because when you get to this side of the tape, if that's not right down against that trim, paint will start seeping in this way. Don't want that. We want these to be absolutely crisp. Would it be? Not really, and it may affect the stick, to be honest, mate. They do have tape which is made of plastic rather than paper, which is what this is. I've got some. It's Tape 4 Curves is how they market it. And it's like a little plastic tape. So imagine the world's thinnest electrical tape, and you're kind of there. I don't really get on with it. It's just a bit tricky to use. Certainly because I've spent so much time using the paper version, I think I'm just used to this a lot more. And therefore this works better for me. Right. Push that out. Now, you'll notice this crease right here. that crease means that we're not going to get a nice smooth bit of yellow across here. But I've specifically placed it on this section, which is going to be painted silver. So the hazard stripe itself will look straight, it will feel like it's absolutely on point, despite the fact there's going to be a couple of mil out at the final end. Doesn't matter the slightest bit. Because, again, you're not going to notice. You're just not going to see it. So you get that in there, nice and tight, and then we will cut this one, just to give us an easier guide point in a minute. Take that off. Pop. Done. So this is going to be the last one, apart from this little area down here. Now remember, this is the headfuck bit. All of the yellow tape is going to be black on the miniature, and everything that hasn't got yellow tape on it is going to be yellow or silver. So just bear that in mind. So let's pop that on there. Nick, you've got loads of meeps. To check your meeps, you just need to type a message, ! meep. Because all of those donations that you've done to buy tickets for things like the giveaway streams that we've done, all of those donations will have also rewarded you meeps. So now is the time to use it, mate. You could win a £50 hobby voucher. You could win even more minis painted by me. You've got a collection growing now. So, you know, got that Chaos Knight. That was pretty badass. You got the Dark Angels repaint Judicia on its way to you. Hopefully arrived. You're building Nagash now? Awesome. Awesome. I want to see it in the whip later on, man. So I'll print you one last month's hobby voucher. And as a direct consequence, he immediately bought Nagash, Supreme Lord of the Undead. A fitting title, I feel, for what used to be Bobo the Clown and is now quite definitely one scary motherfucker. Again, we'll make sure the crease happens on that bit. Because that's going to be painted silver and not black or yellow, therefore we're not as precious about it. Boom. Now we need to take off this tail that we've got here. Because otherwise we'll end up painting it. Oh no, not quite. There we are. But within 9 minutes of the voucher, yeah. What model is painted by you? Ah, you've got the choice of 2 that you know and the mystery box. So the 2 that we have publicised are the Chaos Space Marine Obliterator, which whilst it may not seem like a particularly ostentatious mini, is A, fucking badass. Look at the guy, he's awesome. And 2, 65 quid for 2 of these. And everyone wants 3 and probably no more than 3. They come 2 in a box, and the box is £65 because of other stuff you don't want. So a third of Blit is always useful to have. So that's good. Second prize is the Blood Bowl Minotaur. One of 40-year-old's finest sculpts, if you ask me. I love the movement in this guy. Epic dynamism. Loads of cool areas to get some paint going on. We've got loads of flesh tones. Obviously different kinds of texture. And then you've got these really nice big smooth areas where you can guarantee we were putting some freehand on there. And if neither of those 2 things hit your fancy, It's the mystery box. I want that mystery box. It's doing my tits in. Where you get the contents of it. Don't get the box. And the box... There's something definitely in there. I can't tell you what it is. But I do know what it is. Nidge, peace out, dude. Thanks for dropping by. Whoever wins, pick the mystery box, he says. Yeah. Is a voucher useful for a significant amount of time? Oh, no. Fuck no, mate. Like, I'll give you a voucher for whatever hobby store you want. If their voucher has a expiry date on it, that's between you and the hobby store you've chosen. That's it. Right. All of that, nice and flat. We do this bit, and then this large section in the middle. So for this, we need to get another bit of tape. Line that up across this edge. And we're using way more tape than we need to right now. Then, take this bit of tape and line this up across this edge. That's the bit we care about, not this bit. So that one can go. That's dead to me. We might use it later on, so we keep it safe. Then we just need to trim this line. If I go to sleep before the giveaway by win, can I still win? No, you can still win, mate. We'll message you on Twitch. And if you don't reply within like a week, then maybe we'll redraw it. But I'm sure one of the first things you'll do tomorrow morning if you go to sleep while we're still on air is check your Twitch messages. Just in case, man. Just in case. It could be you, Commissar Bob. Tuck that under. And then we can see our line there, which we use as our guide for everything else, so we know that's right. So we just got this little triangle at the bottom, which starts our chevrons off. Like so. Now, if you ever do that and you get a slightly ragged edge, which is what we've got, just with the side of your knife, try to scrape the model, but just sort of butt it all together. Hobo J is here, coming in with the wag. What time is the giveaway? So, Small Soldier, the giveaway for the £50 hobby voucher is at around 11:30. Just prior to that, at 11:25, whoever is the stream boss, which currently is this handsome chap, Evil Beard, they win 10,000 meeps. So you've got about an hour left before the giveaway and 55 and a bit minutes before this happens. Now let's get our cocktail stick out, most important tool in all of this. Make sure that's nicely sealed down to that surface. Then we need to cover up this section. So we've got our chevrons down, that's great. Everywhere it's yellow, it's going to be black. Everywhere it's black, it's going to be yellow. We don't want this bit to be yellow. So I need to cover in that area. Now you can use loads of lengths of Tamiya tape, which is totally fair. So the way you do that is obviously grab a little bit of tape, pop it on the edge here, like so. Then you'd get your cocktail stick, you draw in that line, and you'd follow the shape of that hatch. I'm going to do it on both the two sides, but then I'm not going to waste a load of Tamiya tape to do that top section. There's a reason for that. We've got better tape. But tape that Hobo J and I both use. Secret tape. So, using your cocktail stick, find the edges. So you've given yourself a little template. You're going to be cutting that out. later on. Flatten the rest of that down. Let's grab that little length of tape that we saved earlier on. So all those offcuts, still useful. Hobo J is playing. And Mr. Ben is playing. I think Mr. Ben is mostly going so he can drink in public again. I think that's the only reason. So again, let's just mark in that area. Make sure we've got a nice sharp edge on that, because we need to trace that round with our blade in a bit. And then just to cover up this bottom area, let's grab another little piece of spare tape we've got. Chuck that in there. And again, just trace these lines. And this is why the cocktail stick's super useful. Because if you did it with a knife, you'd end up cutting bits of tape. You'd end up like perhaps damaging the paint job you've got on underneath. And so by doing this, you've just covered yourself. Now you just need a little bit of tape. So I'm just going to score a line in that, so we've got a nice clean edge to our clean edge tape. It'll take about that much to begin with. Finding fish converting all the shoulders at the indom box. Nice, mate. Nice. Get that death guard going on. Not death guard, death watch. And then let's lay this down on top. Too fat. That's a tape, not me, before any of you says anything. Trim a section off. And then pop this down. Now we're going to leave that little gap of yellow tape all around. Then this will just plaster down all over for now. And that's our top edge, somewhere around there. Now, there is this tiny little black triangle there that would be yellow. We could paint that tiny triangle yellow and completely spend ages fucking around doing so. But if I'm honest, there's no point. Like, when you're looking at the miniature, you're not going to notice. And if I feel that you might, by the time I've painted all this, guess where some battle damage goes? You know, battle damage is the solution to so many hobby crimes. So we'll just trim this out, remaining inside our tape lines. Like so. Captain Madlove! Oh, hot dang! The captain is here, and she says,
"Hey, you sexy beast. How are things?"
Things are good. How are you? Let's get some mad hype in the stream for Captain Madlove here. What an absolute boss. Thank you very much for that donation. It's gratefully received. Please don't tell me one of my emotes is broken. Oh, there can't be more things that go wrong. No, that one works. It's for some reason the hype command has broken. Are we giving away my time? I mean, that's There's a great quote from Iron Man I'd love to bust out right now, but, you know, that's inappropriate. We're not giving away any painting lessons today. We've yet to have the painting lessons that we gave out over the weekend redeemed. We are always giving away our time in terms of the tips and tricks that we teach here on Twitch, though. All of which make it over to YouTube. But quite definitely, Captain Madlove, I'm sure if you were interested, we could sort something out. So what we're doing now, we are tracing around all of those little score marks that we put in earlier on with the tape. So you've got a real clean edge around this little access hatch. So let's now start unpeeling these bits, and then we start getting our yellow paint going on and turning this little Helverin into something super special. Tweezers. How about you though, Mad Love? How are you? Is this your night off? You just chilling today? Come here, little there you go. So now we'll peel that off. That's done. Smooth down any of these bits, get them right into that crack. I swear today is the day where you can get all of the inappropriate jokes out of your system. It is fixed. I don't know what happened there. I didn't do anything to fix it. Chimo, how you doing? We're doing Hazard Stripes. Oh yeah. Who doesn't love Hazard Stripes? If you don't love Hazard Stripes, then there's part of your soul which still works. And at that point, what the hell are you doing here? Right, so we trim through that bit of tape. Just get that flattened back down again. Crack on. Actually clean the kitchen. Damn. Damn. Either you were desperate for something to do, or it really, really needed doing. It's always. Oh no, wait! You moved in recently, right? This is all new. So, is this like the first time where it's been like, right, we need to get this done? Let's do the other side. So let's just trim down through here. This little section off the Mini. And yes, it got asked a couple of times. Varnishing is not necessary. However, there's a joke about a condom here, which you could definitely make. You don't need to varnish, but it's better to varnish and not need to than need to and not have done. Zombie Brush Studios, that's an awesome name for a studio. I love that. That's cool. Thank you for that follow. Welcome to the stream. Today, it's all about them Hazard Stripes. So let's take this section off. And then we'll once again, after spending ages with tape, ready to paint. And Ostrapa, I want to say that is. Thank you very much. Damn. Oh man, that sucks. Well, hopefully that doesn't take you too long to sort out. Come here, little. There we go. So again, got a super clean edge. And then let's take this section off and we're done. So now we've got all of our tape down. That's our mask. That's taken a little while, and it does. It's just one of those things that you have to take your time about. What kind of tape do I use? We use two. We use Tamiya tape. This is some 6mm, just yellow tape from them. And then we've got some painter's tape. I don't know what you would find this as, but a company called Clean Edge, and it is phenomenal tape. It's about £10 for a roll of this stuff, but you will never have that remove paint from a Mini, even if it hasn't been varnished. That shit is legit. Now we're going to paint yellow. So we've got all our parts to do. As you can see, here's some I did earlier. Let's get some yellow going on. So airbrush engaged. Get these all out to the distance. Now, to paint yellow over black, some people would say this was heresy. And a little bit of heresy. Small amounts of heresy. I think I fixed the camera wobble earlier on. Bam. It's a little bit, the carpet is just touching the desk and it's causing a vibration to the, that's it. I need to go this way. To the countertop, which is where the camera is located. We're going to use Bogan Brown from P3 because this stuff is phenomenal. And because we're running out of time, we'll just do this one section and its shoulder pads. The rest of that, I'll do off stream. As always, flow improver. All the flow improver. God, I thought I just fixed that. Stop the wobbling. If I turn the compressor off, I bet you that stops. Yep. So this is a stream all about straight lines, brought to you by the bunch of people that make the screen wobble. Fucking brilliant. So, Bogan Brown from P3. This stuff is magical because it's an ochre. So an ochre is a yellowish brown. But it is an ochre that has good coverage. I know G-Dubs do a couple of these. I cannot remember what it's called. It's like a Tau named paint. Jake, you'll know. What's the Tau named paint that GW do? Is this night a new night you need for 9th? Oh yeah, man. We need more Helverins. Now we're going to go slightly thinner than 1-to-1 flow improver paint. Just a little bit. Tau light ochre. There we go. Thank you very much. It was a compressor, yeah. But it's the first time it's happened, so I think it's just sort of traveled a little bit along the floor, and I'll work out why it's interfering with it. It might just be the cable. So, we'll see. Don't come and knocking when the cameras are rocking. Dude, it never plays up like this. It's the first time it's ever happened. Here we go. So the first thing we could be doing is just painting with yellow, and I'll show you where that wouldn't work. This gives us really nice coverage over our black glove, right? So you build that up to a really strong yellowy brown, which is a good foundation to put yellow over. When we get to the yellow stage, I'll spray some yellow next to it, and you'll see it go green, and that's not attractive. Next thing you need to know, when you're using masking tape and an airbrush, if you spray at this angle to the tape, the paint will go flying down onto the mini at great force. It will skate along the mini to the side of the tape, and it will try and get underneath the tape. Don't do that. This is one of the times where we have a rule. This is the rule. Spray along the tape. Ideally, spray like this, just past the tape, but spray along the tape. This will minimize any of that kind of spillage that you'll get. Work with a small amount of paint coming through. You can have all the air pressure in the world with a tiny amount of paint, and it is better to do many passes, lots of thin coats, to ensure a good even coverage. Now, when we have finished this mini, you will not see any of this colour, as is so frequently the case with base coats. But one of the reasons for that is this is a very desaturated colour, especially put over a black undercoat, right? And we don't want desaturated. We want to see this mini from the other end of the tournament hall. So when these guys are chilling out at table 1 and table 2, and I'm down visiting Andy at table 37, I can see my knights. Laser Cannon, thank you for the follow. The Yeah, that's never happened either, Des. I mean, I don't know what you're alluding to. Tibble's Evil Cat. Thank you very much, man. So are there rules here or not? This is the one rule. And the other rule of don't talk about Fight Club. No shirt, no shoes. That's a rule. But Twitch doesn't allow you to no shirt. I don't have shoes on though, so that counts, right? So let's get a second pass while we're here. We're even going to come back for a third pass after we've done every other part of this this mini. Not painting the rest of the armor panels will give me something to do on tomorrow's lunch break. Other than start getting my pizza ready. I've got dough sat on the counter, so after we finish the stream tonight, I've got to make bread. It's proved all day. Because you all drink rum if you don't watch them. I mean, that's allowable. There's some Captain, but a Captain. Actually, that's not Captain Morgan, that's Havana 7. Apple juice that tastes remarkably like Havana 7 is what that is. Very dark apple juice. Very concentrated. Captain Madlove getting in that sub train as well. Woohoo! Piracy. Not that kind of piracy, alright? I'm not like downloading DVDs, which apparently somehow, despite the fact you're making no money, supports terrorism. How in God's name does going to like a movie streaming site somehow support terrorism? I've never understood that. You're not supporting anyone. That's kind of the... what airbrush model and needle size are you using? This is an Iwata Eclipse HPCS with a .35 needle, which is adequate for doing pretty much anything you would need. It's the only airbrush that I've used in the last 3 years, other than just trying a few out at like conventions and stuff like that. And you can get crazily good detail with this. You really, really can. So you don't need to have one of those super complicated ones that changes needle size and transforms into a minivan and whatever else it do. You don't need that. And if I'm honest, they've got more tendency to break than anything else. So just don't get one anyway. The internet is so weird. Well, you made it here, so you've proven that point for definite. Men, no shoes, no shirt, no service. Females, no shirt, free beer, life's unfair. Damn, mate, you've got a point. I put it away because we can see it. There we go. Cool. Shoulder pads snorted. Windy Massive. Thank you for that host, man. You're not supporting anyone, exactly. If you're not with us at Bar Movies and you're against us, terrorists. Damn, that's the way it is. You're absolutely right. Dude, those are some quality emotes. Love that. Right, now let's get all this bit done. So now we've got 2 sets of tape. You can't just spray past that tape because it will get here. So you have to kind of work directly down onto the miniature. And if you're doing that, because you're spraying your paint at what's a flat surface, it will definitely try and spider out on you. So you have to use a small amount of paint. It's super crucial. We're going to work from a distance so that by the time our paint hits the mini, it's moving a little bit slower. It's not got quite so much get up and go. It's got up and gone. And there's been many passes. 4 or 5. This is the focal point of the miniature. this casing right here, this shell that he's wearing. This is what we want everyone to be looking at. One second. Cocktail stick. There's a little rise just here. Flatten that down, and just here as well. So you've probably got a little bleed out of paint underneath that. That's a shame. But battle damage fixes all of those things. Needle size is 0.35. And that's for everything, mate. That's for, I need to snipe in the world's tiniest highlight because I'm doing some OSL. That's for, I'm doing a highlight on a face on a 28mm miniature. Any of those things you can use this needle size for. It just comes down to the control that you can exert in your airbrush, and mostly that comes down to the control that you have with the amount of paint that you apply using the airbrush. So move the trigger the smallest possible amount. Even using paint like this, which has been pre-thinned to get from the pot to the bottle, and then has also been thinned in the airbrush cup at a ratio of more than 1 drop of flow improver to 1 drop of paint. Even with the paint that thin, you can still spray at 45 psi if you can control that amount of paint. And it comes with practice, right? So don't all of you go now and turn your airbrush compressor right up to maximum and then just start spraying around willy-nilly, because it'll go wrong for a bit. You've got to give it time. You've got to learn how to master it. Mad Love, all I've got to do is keep spraying this, basically a really crap orange for a little bit. So you ask me any questions you've got about airbrush PSI, and my answer will probably be turn it up. But we can definitely have a chat. $50-50, yeah. Every bit of paint that comes out of this airbrush is at minimum 50% flow improver in the pot before I add the paint, which has already been thinned to get into here. So it's actually closer to 60-40. And the paint I'm using now is, I used like 7 drops of flow improver to 5 drops of paint. So that's even more thin than 1-to-1. And we're still getting that control. Again, there's no hard and fast rules, but keeping your paint really thin is just the way you need to airbrush. Because if you don't, you get chunky bits of paint, you get spatter. You don't get those super smooth layers, which is what you're after with an airbrush. You don't get those glorious transitions, and so at that point, why bother using an airbrush? Just pick up a Winsor & Newton and give it your best, right? This is it's called Bogren Brown. It's from P3 and is the best base coat you could find for yellow, especially done this way. The other way of doing yellow is put down like a white highlight using ink, and then use orange inks and yellow inks to kind of blend that up. Now we're going to go through a few different steps here to give ourselves the best blends. And it's going to freak a few people out. There's one step where it's going to be absolutely fucking terrible. We're going to ruin it. That's coming soon. But until that time, but now we're applying yellow. So we've gone from Bogren Brown to bright ass Flash Gitz yellow. This is one of my favorite yellows. Love this. MCG Jaeger, Iron Warriors, all day, every day. These are my loyalist Iron Warrior Knights. I see a Iron Warriors. Don't even. I love the Iron Warriors. The most metal of all Marines. Do always thin with just flow improver, never thinner or water. So I use a little water here and there if necessary. But it's got to be, like, damn necessary. As far as thinner goes, thinner is an alcohol-based solution, right? Flow improver is a solution that is based on drying retarder. So flow improver helps keep your paint wetter for longer. And we all like to keep it wetter for longer. So as a result, if you use thinner in your airbrush, just going to clean the tip, then when your paint hits the model, it starts to dry. And it dries a lot faster than it does using medium. It dries faster than it would if you used just water. I'm looking for the smoothest possible blends, which means your paint needs to stay wetter so it doesn't dry in the air between this bit and that bit. I'll show you why. We're going to start applying some yellow on this. We know that we come back and put orange in over the top of this Bogan brown. But right now, we're going on with a yellow coat. And then in a minute, we're going to ruin this yellow. Ruining the yellow. Every mini goes through, as Kenny would say, the hot garbage phase. This doesn't so much go through a hot garbage phase as it's that uncomfortable time when you were 15 and thought long hair is going to look really, really sick on me. It's kind of that phase. It's the, I'm going to sit in my room and listen to nothing but crawling on repeat. It's that phase. It's the phase that nobody wants to admit that they've done. So you can see there's a little of that Bogan brown right at the bottom. Everything else, yellow. Seeing this, and I kind of want to revisit my old Ironware Iron paint about 15 years ago. They were horrendous. Iron with him, brother. So just dusting this on. Tiny amount of paint. Just let it sit naturally. Remember, we're working from that top down. We're trying to eliminate as much of the paint just shooting under this little bit of tape as we can. And we end up with this all yellow. That's a phase no one wants to admit to. Listening to Travis. Wait, no, was that Coldplay or was that Travis? But listening to Travis is a phase that nobody wants to admit to. Why did it always rain on me? Ugh. Malades. That sounds delicious, man. Have fun. What base would you use for pink? Asking for a friend. Purple. It's dark pink. We use a lot of pink on this stream as well. I really, really like putting bright pink on Toy Soldier minis because you don't see it very often, so therefore it stands out. And we're all about super vibrant paint schemes that stand out. Hence why fucking Bumblebee over here came to life, right? So again, just loads of little passes, feathering that in, nice and gently, building that vibrancy up. Now you will notice that the transition that comes in between our Bogan brown and our yellow looks ever so slightly grey in places where you might not notice on the camera actually, but I can in real life. And that's because the Bogan brown is a very desaturated paint that was painted over black. As a result, by the time you start adding yellow to that and trying to add vibrancy to something that's already been desaturated, you get this weird mix of it doesn't quite work. And that's why we come back in with orange right at the very, very end. Right, that is 11 on the dot, which means there is 25 minutes left in that boss battle. Whoever is the boss wins 10,000 meeps. Meeps are our stream currency, for those unaware. It's also the name of my cat. You will be able to use that stream currency, exclamation point win, in the chat later on today. In some would say exactly 29 and a few minutes. 29 minutes and a few seconds. to get your raffle tickets to win a £50 hobby voucher. £50 hobby voucher. This could be anywhere. You've got a favourite hobby store? It's there. You want Games Workshop? It's there. You want Forge World? It's there. You want Rival Crafts? It's there. Whatever you want, you can win that raffle ticket. Last month's ticket got immediately turned into Nagash, Supreme Lord of the Undead. That's a great way to spend that raffle ticket. Cost that dude some postage and a couple of pennies for an amazing centerpiece model of his Age of Sigmar army. So that's not bad at all, right? And then, after that raffle has taken place, we're going to do what some would argue is the main prize. It's not hobby vouchers. It is a miniature painted by me. How do you enter? Exclamation point how, Captain Madloff. You will find some mystical instructions. We've gone very low tech with our commands and just written them in a silver pen on our board. Get a hobby for life. Oh, I said I'd show you the yellow. So this was the Bogan Brown. Looks kind of browny orange. Spray some of this down right next to it. We've got a really bad moot green right now. See? That ain't yellow. It's just not good. Why is the meep command? There you go. The meep command worked. Your eyes indeed, Milo. See, with just all about little tiny bits of paint going through the airbrush, hitting that surface, atomized paint to get the smoothest of all blends. Bam, next shoulder pad on deck. Yellow is a lie. Yellow is not a lie. Yellow is clearly right here in front of us. That's green. Look at my fingers. So this is taking the most yellow paint off of everything we've painted, right? That still doesn't quite look really yellow. And that's why you can't just put yellow paint over black. Too much of that black shows through until you've got a ½ an inch thick of yellow paint on the mini, at which case you've got a different problem. Something's definitely gone wrong somewhere in that logic step. It's a bug in that code. Cake's a lie. Yeah, we don't have a max command because it's just the way that Streamlabs handles the the contest. Your bot might be a bit more sophisticated than mine. It would not surprise me in the slightest bit. Let's do this front section. And you can see what's going on. This little circular pattern we're making with the airbrush. So it's just a little bit of paint, move back, start again, a little bit of paint, start again, start again, start again, start again, start again. And it's just repetitive. But while some may find this boring, to me, working with the airbrush gives me instant gratification. Because now I've already got a pretty banging yellow. And if I wanted to, I could leave it right here. But what we're about to do is heresy. We've got yellow, we've got yellow, we've got yellow. We're going to knock the exposure on this camera down. That's up. So that we can really show you the next step. So that's dark. But you can see that's yellow. Right? That's okay. What's going to happen now is we're going to ruin our miniature. On purpose. Milo, there will be. We use our time while drawing the contest to go through our community whips. So Madlove, how many meeps did you have? So you could buy 20. So yeah, Des has got you covered as well. Because he is the best mod ever. So what we're doing now is we're just flushing every bit of yellow out of the airbrush. Because we're finished painting yellow for a minute. We'll come back to the yellow. But right now, we are going to fuck this up. Just wait for the bot to cut exclamation point instead of the one. There we go. We've got all the yellow out of our airbrush. Next up, ink. This is beautiful white ink from Dalarani. This is their semi-opaque ink, as shown by the square with no filler. There you go, Captain. You're entered. This is brilliant stuff. Despite the fact that that ink is basically white water, we're still going to use flow improver and thin this 50-50. It's alright, Matt. We got you covered. Des is the man for the job right there. So 50% flow improver, 50% white ink. And now, here's where that toothpick comes back in handy again. If you stir this with the brush that lives in your, obviously completely cleaned every time you have finished your painting session and not death water, if you don't use that brush, then you'll get white. If you do use that brush, you won't. So I just use a cocktail stick because it's perfectly clean and just clean the inside of that. It's not clean the inside of that. Mix the inside of that. So we've got our white ink and our flow improver. Got this beautiful solution, which is going to be the solution to giving you the brightest yellow. Let's go back to this for a second. That's green. That's still mostly green, let's be honest here, right? The only way that you can get yellow to its brightest, most vibrant setting, which is what we want. Let's go back to this guy again. That's yellow. Is by putting that yellow down over a base coat of white. Now, if we just put white on the Mini and then shaded it orange and then shaded it yellow to get a nice transition through, you still wouldn't quite get what you wanted to because your recess, that darkest point, wouldn't be dark enough. You wouldn't get enough contrast out. So you start off by painting what's basically yellow, and what most people would stop here when they think, I've painted it yellow, I have done my duty for the Emperor, for Dawn. We stand at the wall, whatever Imperial Fists say. And we're going to ruin this now by spraying it white. So right up here at the top section, we're going to go way past, oh, that's a little pastel yellow, to what have you done? That's where we're going with this now. And this is the reason why this ink is so thin and must be so thin. We need this point right here, where it goes from being white ink to being yellow, to be the craziest fade. Because we're going to paint over this again with yellow. And that will give us the best yellow. We've gone from a dark recess. We've gone through dark yellow. What we want now is the hottest yellow you could get. We want this yellow to be so vibrant that, like I said, while these bad boys are set up on table 1, 2, or 3, I can go and see my friend down on table 37. I can still see my knights. Your meep account is suffering. There's no overdraft on a meep account. We don't do loans at the Bank of Meep. Just gotta weather the storm and be here. That's it. There you go. So we're not just sort of letting it spray on there. If you're using an ink, look, watch this, right? So I'm using the smallest amount of paint possible. As it starts to build up, you will still get a point where it suddenly gets too much paint on there, and bam, see that break? That's that spider web. What did you do to clean the airbrush cup first? So basically, I threw some water through it, and on my desk, and wiped it with a tissue. That's it. If there's a tiniest bit of yellow residue in there, considering I'm going to paint this over with yellow, that's not the end of the world. It's okay if that happens. Right. Less than 14 minutes left in the boss fight. Challenger, you will go on my first whistle. Let's fight. So we're staying in that top section of this because this is where we want our highlight to be. This is how we get those crazy blends. Using the smallest amount of paint, so as our paint hits the mini, the next bit of air that follows that paint just helps set that in place a little bit. It doesn't dry it, but just gives it a little bit of stability. And then the next bit of paint that goes down right in on top of that just reinforces it, starts building those smooth transitions. Gladiators ready! That's right, that's that. I'm glad people got that in the chat. I know there's going to be a lot of people that didn't and think I'm on some sort of drugs. So I'm glad somebody got it. For those of you that didn't, if you watch like the Rock's Titan games, it was that, but 30 years ago. Right, for this, same. Just make sure that you leave enough of that original colour, that orange, that bogan brown that we've laid down, that first highlight of yellow in there, so there's a transition. If you don't leave space for a transition, there was no point in doing this. You may as well have sprayed the whole damn thing white and then sprayed yellow on top of it. Those transitions, those areas of contrast create interest on your miniature, which people want to look at. For me, when I go to an event, I mean, I want to go and win the event. That's the goal. But the other goal is to come away with the best painted trophy. And there's been a couple. So we're obviously doing something just barely correct. So I stand by this. So again, working pretty much top down with this, trying to avoid much spill under the tape. There's going to have been some. There's almost never one of these that gets done perfectly. You just got to learn how to fix your mistakes, much as in life. Now here, we've got something interesting we can do. This line is a natural area of getting a highlight. So we come in from the side again. Careful not to get this under the tape if we can help it. And just, we'll go real close, fuck it, we're like half an inch away. Tiny, tiny amounts of paint. I'm going to build that up to a real, real bright white. And what that's going to do is when we get our yellow down, we get a slightly different yellow here as we will right on that crisp edge. And that's going to give us the brightest yellow at the point where the highlight would naturally be. Same here, working real close. Tiny, tiny amounts of paint allowed through the airbrush. Remember, we're working max pressure. Yeah? If I let the hose charge up, the hose will get to 45 psi, which is about twice what people will advise you to airbrush at. And Angel Heraldez airbrushes at around 18 to 20. He's widely regarded as one of the best airbrush artists in the world. My way is different. Not necessarily better, just different. Talk about that all the time. Everyone's got their way. You need to find yours. Hopefully, one person will find it through watching the stream. And if out of everyone that's ever opened this stream, we only help that one person, that's still a good job. I'm still happy with that. I would never use an airbrush, I would be a danger. Nah, just don't do this. Although I'll tell you what, if you don't have a fan, an airbrush with a little bit of water in the cup, just blown gently over your face, that's great. Right, got a tiny bit of build up on the needle. I can tell by the feel of the airbrush. The paint is starting to slow down a little bit on its way out, so just cleaning the needle with just a damp brush, and then it'll be fine. Who are we talking about now? Is this... Do you add any purple? No, we go with orange. You could add purple, because colour theory denotes that purple is a wonderful thing to put on yellow. The other side of the colour wheel, and a lot, if not all of the gold that we do here on good guys type characters, we wash with purple for that exact reason. And Hobo J, I know you've done a phenomenal Orc Warbus on bike, where you've added in a heck of a load of purple and pinks to really build that shadow, that transition. He looks great. I still think he's the best thing you've painted, and that was maybe a year ago, if not more. I think it's probably almost definitely the thing you spent the longest time painting. So that's not a surprise, right? Again, tiny amount of paint. The reason we go with orange is because whilst we've got a strong transition, if you go yellow to purple, it's not what I'm looking for. So there's a definite variance in hue rather than value. And I want to go for orange because I want the warmth. And the reason I want the warmth is because the rest of the armour is black, which obviously is almost definitely not warm. And it's extremely difficult to get a warm black. That's nearly impossible. But also then the other colours that go around this are silver for a lot of the armour trim, and then blue for things like the OSL. So let's grab this guy because he hasn't been on stream for a little bit. We've got blue OSL here, we've got loads of silver. So if we did these purple, we run the risk of it just being a little bit too much of the one colour palette, because obviously blue makes up purple. So if we use orange instead and go more towards red, then it stands out more. Right, now I'm going to flush all the ink out. For me, exactly. So art's subjective. We talk about that every stream that we're on. Art is subjective. Beauty in the eye of the beholder and stuff like that, right? I still think that's the best thing that you've done, because that absolutely speaks to me on a level in here. And that's what good art does for you. Talks to you. Whispers naughty things in your ear. Right. Quick flush through. A little bit of a backflow. You know, a Cadre Fireblade looks dope. Hell yeah, man. Peckish, you've got minis from both of us now. You collected the set. I hope that Ragnar got repaired and was in fighting form. So now, we're back to yellow. So we've gone through all of that just so we can do yellow again. Cute Freya 85. Thank you for that follow. And this needs to be thinned, not 1-to-1. That's not thin enough. 2 drops of flow improver, 1 drop of paint. Has to be. Because we need to put this on like a glaze. And for those of you that are unsure what glazes are and how to use them, last stream, which was Tuesday night, which is now up on YouTube, was all about glazing and freehand. There was a lot of glaze theory, there was a hell of a lot of glaze practice, and some great tips so you can do your own glazes. We've got Grease Gamer and Frederick Tao 1. Thank you both for those follows. We've also got about 3 minutes left in the boss battle. So, currently our stream boss is the Captain! Captain Madlove. If she is still the stream boss in 3 minutes and 10 seconds, she wins 10,000 meeps, which is enough for 25 entries into the contest to win a £50 hobby voucher to a store of your choice. So now let's gently apply the yellow back in. To beat a boss, you gotta beat the boss. If you get the killing blow on the boss, you become the new boss. Damage the boss by donations, subscribing, following. Gift subs are risky. Gift subs are like Russian roulette. Because the person that you gifted it to does the damage, not you. So careful with that one. You have a YouTube channel? Absolutely, dude. Exclamation point YouTube. It's already been done. Peckish, you're a babe. Two minutes 10. If the alert does not happen, if you don't change the boss when your entry is in, you timed it too late. I know we've got a few people here that like to try and snipe. I'm warning you, the bot gets backlogged during that time. When that happens, that's like the bot's on full panic. Don't leave it too late. So now we've got yellow. That is goddamn hell yellow. Right up there. Let's do that to the other ones. Minute and a half. So you see, we're working for a distance. We're letting this cone of paint and air that we're firing at our mini be really diffuse when it hits. It's going to help us get that super smooth transition. We're also using the tiniest possible amount of paint. I'm going to keep going until this looks yellow and not pale and pastel with some of that white showing through. So take your time. It's worth it. Less than a minute left. Oh! Dez, he wants it. Dez is the boss with 35 seconds left to go. Will he retain it? 30 seconds left.
Kapow.
Kapow! Dez, you took out the mad love. The captain is down. Repeat, captain is down. Less than 20 seconds left. Can Dez retain his title of stream boss? He's boss mod. Is he also stream boss? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yes, he is. Dez is the boss. Let me give you your meeps, Dez. That's some Dez. I expect to see you spending all of those. Bam. You're sorted. So we've got 5 minutes left now before that contest for that £50 hobby voucher draws to a close. Don't know what I'm talking about? Exclamation point win and exclamation point how, and that'll give you the absolute lowdown. But if you'd like to win £50 worth in whatever your local currency is of hobby vouchers, to a hobby stockist of your choice. Crooked Grin, damn, I'm sorry about that, man. Unlucky. Des got in there. Like I said, it's got to trigger that. Got to trigger that bot. It's got to have the boss change hands. Des got the killing blow. He took out the captain. There was a mutiny. Captain was thrown overboard. She became a flounder. We could do more puns, but, you know. Is what it is. I see your Substar. I see your Twitch Prime hat as well. So, I don't know what went on there. But it shows you as a 2-month subscriber. So, maybe it happened at the same time as Dez's donation was being worked out by the bot. I don't know, brother. That's why we've got a disclaimer of it's got to be on the thing, because I cannot be held accountable for my bot. The bot has a life of its own. It is basically Skynet, if Skynet was the Forrest Gump of computers. It didn't buy stock in Apple, it bought an Apple. So you can see this yellow. So vibrant. Super yellow. We've still got one step to do, though. We've got our yellow, and it's looking great and all. Remember what I said earlier on about when we finished, some of this is going to look grey? Just before each line of tape. In the real world, not the stream world. Because the camera obviously has difficulties when we're working with such vibrant colours. But in the real world, the transition line between our brightest yellow and that burgundy brown just comes out a little desaturated and therefore looks a bit grey. So we're going to do something about that in a minute with some orange. It's going to go on real thin. And we're just going to hit a few little stripes here and there to bring out that extra peak of contrast. So let's flush this. We're done with the yellow. Yellow is dead to me now, apart from this little bit up here, which I want to do a little bit more on. Bam. And bam. Someone asked what yellow you're using. Currently I'm using Flash Gitz Yellow, but we're using Flash Gitz Yellow in its purest form because we've laid that down over FW white ink. So we went through an entire workup. I'll run through it quickly again for those that may have just joined the stream. We used Bogren Brown on the Mini. Bogren Brown, as you can see from P3, is an ochre colour. We then used Flash Gitz Yellow, and that gave us a pretty adequate transition of ochre through to yellow. And so what we ended up with there is something that most people that just wanted to get an army done would have stopped at and been happy with, like, right, we're done, we're cool. But you can't really do that with a knight because everything is a centerpiece. So what we did then was we took some FW ink from Dala Rowney. We thinned that 1-to-1 with Flow Improver and ruined our miniature. And then we put yellow back in over the top of that white. So we took white from a black undercoat and made it our own thing. Now I'm going to do the orange on this. We'll do the draw for that £50 hobby voucher. So get your tickets. You've got a minute, maybe 2. Outside chance of 3, 5 is right out. Then, between that and the whip, we'll peel this tape off. And that's the best part of the stream. The absolute best part of the stream. Because everyone wants to see them hazard stripes. The big reveal. Let's hope the hype lives up to it and it's not some of the new 40k big reveals, because some of them were a little bit less revealing than they could have been. Now we're going to spray into these recesses. is going to give us that maximum contrast. And what we're going to do now is we're going to put our exposure back up to something approaching normal. That's the wrong way. Let's go down a little bit. So now you can see just how vibrant this yellow is, but it's going to look even more vibrant now because by adding this little shadow in, by getting these oranges in, really warming up those recesses. This yellow goes from being like, damn, that's a nice yellow, to damn! That's yellow. Just feather your paint in. Don't ruin it now. I mean, you've spent however long building that yellow up to the best possible yellow it could be. Now it's not the time to go ham and just like treat your airbrush like a fire hose. This is not the time or the place. I'd like to buy a vowel. SVG GPHR, thank you for that follow. And I am sorry, I have no idea how to pronounce your name. Which used to pin arms and stuff for painting some metal wire, what diameter? I use cheap paper clips, which you bend at the bottom so you can blue tack this to a shot glass, and then that bit holds the thing that you're painting. And if you just need to pin it, then you chop a bit off and you're done. End of the day, you're usually applying some super glue in there, and you've got maybe some plastic glue to help join the parts together as well. You don't need rebar. Ooh, just a little spatter right on the tape. Fortunately, saved ourselves from any issues. So let's quickly clean our tip. Gotta have a clean tip. It's important. And then again, just start dusting that orange in. Give ourselves some maximum level contrast. Some good transitions. The crooked grin. That was a delay. Except you managed to write, wow, there's a delay there on your cheer. So did you forget to press enter? Because I've done that before. And it's been more than once. I mean, I called my bot the Forrest Gump of bots, but I may be the Forrest Gump of potatoes. There you go. I was going to say painters. I think I just proved it. So now you got a hell of a load of contrast in there. Do your shoulder pad. Clean the tip. Got to keep that tip clean. Getting over the brush, root around a little bit, get the gunk out. Adding this orange in is what stops there being that grey kind of feeling. Now I know right now this looks super orange in places. Remember, most of this orange is on the armor trim. That armor trim is going to be painted silver. It ain't going to stay orange. So the amount of orange we've got on there will really get dialed back in. So on here, we're going to do the bottom part of all of our hazard stripes. Just gently getting a little orange down this end. And then, because we've got the highlight up here, we're just going to come in from the side. Again, spraying away from the direction that the paint could get in underneath our tape. And we'll just shore up some of those recesses with a little bit more orange in there. Then here, we'll wipe out that little ever so slightly grey area that we've got. Using this orange, remember this is thin 2:1 flow improver paint. So we glaze in this in. This is all about getting those smooth transitions. Also make sure you're about even both sides as well, otherwise you'll have wonky transitions and that's not good. So, thank you for clipping that Forrest Gump section. Run, Forrest, run! Life is like a box of chocolates. By the time you get your turn, someone's come and eaten all the good ones. I got shot in the buttocks. You're here for the final peel. Me too, man. That's the most exciting bit. We'll do that bit right after we've drawn this £50 hobby voucher. And we're nearly done. We've only got like 2 more areas of orange to do before we get to that stage. So the last few minutes to spend those meeps and get yourself involved. You can have this voucher to any hobby store that has some sort of voucher that we can buy through PayPal. That's literally it. If they don't, they're probably not worth going with anyway. Loasted! Thank you for that follow. Okay, here we go. This is it. We're done. Last bit of orange. Boom. Right. Compressor is off. We're done. Aside from cleaning that later on, finito. So, I'm going to run through the roll call of who is in the contest. If I do not call out your name, you're not in. And you need to buy a ticket. To buy a ticket, exclamation point high, exclamation point July 20, a space, and a number of tickets you want. In the contest, we have Cakefisk, Nidge, Dez, Andy, This Is Kets, Farsiars, Voodoo Yaz, Daddy Tub, Sayak, December Wind, Nemod, Milo Splat, AJC, 72 to Dyson, Zen41, Smithy, Alistair, Cryptic Chimera, Semondo, 43, Abandoned Lost Arms, Crime Blade, Breathe Hole 1, 2 Fluke 9, MP 659, I Print You 1, E2, Lordy W, Johnson in Main Unit, Wooden Spoon Wargame, Fish 1, Rich the Merciless, Commissar Bob, Mega Hamster, Dread C, Small Tortoise 12, Robo 76, Ringsting 69, Maladeus, Black Raven 92, Brush Liquor, great name, Polos of Cracker, Saragon, Crazy Ant, Hicko, Chimo, Rocky, MCG, Jager, Flash and Dash 2000, Selvarus, Captain Madlove, Crossperization with his usual 1 ticket, Twilight Walker, Hobo J, Creepy Kangaroo, Super Creeps, Jotun Wolfenrit, Griffey, and the Crooked Grin. If I did not call out your name, you have 10 seconds to get yourself in. 2 Fluke 9 has boosted his tickets. Nano 596 is in as well. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, done. Oh, Amberden just snuck in there. The giveaway is now closed. That is it. If you do not spend your meeps today, that is fine. The end of next month's stream, spend them now. Good luck to all of you. May the odds be ever in your favour. And the winner is, for a £50 hobby voucher to hobby stockist of your choice, Wooden Spoon Wargaming! Matt, congratulations. Cheers, brother. He might have gone to bed. So, Rocky, I don't know what happens. Rocky constantly goes deep in on this. And I mean like, up to the elbow deep. And the bot's just like, not you again. So, wait, it was Rocky first? Oh shit, it double clicked. That wasn't me doing a double click. I was very careful to try and click once. Damn, Rocky, it's you. And Rocky's not here. Matt, so sorry. If you're in the chat and you got that hype. Whoops. Rocky is the winner. Rocky is also not here. And so, I will message him on Discord after the stream. It feels bad. Yeah, Matt, hope you're not there. Whew. That was rough. Also, I'm glad one of you guys spotted that because I literally clicked once and let go. So, like I said, today's stream, full of technical difficulties. That's the story of today. Cut this out. No, man, clip it. Let him. We'll send it to him. So, not Matt, Rocky. I will speak to you after the stream. You'll get your voucher. Let's reset this. Boom. We're done. This time it is subscriber only. There is no ticket price, nor no max tickets. That will be the command. That will be the prize. Let's start this bitch up. Giveaway is... Just double check that's correct. Yes, correct. So, if you would like to win a miniature painted by me in a color scheme of your choice and then shipped to you anywhere in the world, and this is the one that Rocky wants to be in on, I know this, so hopefully he fucking turns up. Now is the time. You have choice of these two miniatures. You have the Blood Bowl Minotaur. The best, I feel, Forge World Scoped for the Blood Bowl game. If you play Blood Bowl, you want this guy on your team. He's a weapon. He's a beast. It's a great model to paint. The amount of skin tones we've got in here, the imagination we can put into this guy, the free hand that can go on that shoulder pad is going to be super, super sick. Matt, you are here. You may have heard your name called out for winning that £50 voucher, but I double-clicked somehow. I swear I single-clicked. And it was Rocky, not you. So, sorry, dude. So you could win this guy. You could win an Obliterator. Painted in Legion of your choice. I mean, clearly that's some sort of Slanesh-based Legion for Endless Cacophony. But you know, definitely a good choice. Great minis, loads of flesh tones, loads of big flat armor panels for some freehand. This is going to look super, 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 super sick when we're done. Now, if neither of those two minis tickles your pickle, floats your boat, gives you ocean some motion, I've run out of rhyming couplets, you can choose the mystery box. This prize has been in here for now 2 months. No one's picked it yet. I can't tell you what's in the mystery box. Unless somebody chooses it. If nobody chooses it, this stays locked away. No one can have it. The only rule to the mystery mini is that it must fit within the confines of this box. I mean, as a size comparison, you can get a lot of mini in this box. It could equally be in sub-assemblies. If we shake it gently, sounds like it could be sprues. It could be something on sprues. It could be in a load of sub-assemblies. You've got between now and me peeling all the tape off of here to enter. So if you want one of those, Be a sub. Use that command. There will be a whip. Don't you worry. We'll get to that. But now we're going to get to the most satisfying part of any stream that's involved masking tape and an airbrush. We need the music from like American Pie. Bow wow 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 wow. Bow da 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 da. You know when Nadia is making Jim a happy, embarrassed man. Bow wow 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 wow. This is not a contest you need meeps for. You do not need meeps to enter this. You just need to be a sub. That's it. Bit Tom Jones. So you can leave your hat on. Are you ready? Let's just go in. Go deep. Oh yeah. Good ASMR stream now. Oh yeah, baby. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Tom Jones did a version of that song. Oh yeah. Tom Jones and the Stereophonics, right? It was brilliant. Here it is. Bow down down down. Bow wow down. One chevron. Now you'll notice right at the very top here is a little bit of black that shouldn't be there. When we clean this up by doing our highlights, that'll get hidden. Yeah. But that guy had a voice, right? He could definitely do that justice. You'd have to search for it now, Mad Love. I remember that coming out when I was, I don't know, like 16, 17. And that song was all over the radio, constantly. Here it is. Oh yeah. Now look at that one, that's much cleaner. Beautiful little chevron. Oh, Griffey get his sub on. Griffey, now you're a sub, man. You want to do that July 20 mini command. Get involved. You could win a mini painted by me. Last month was Ragnar Blackmane, the most beast mode of all Primaris dudes. Right, let's get in here. So now we end up with a massive, great big pile of tape. Get removed at once. Look at how crisp that line is. Let's get in here, remove the covering for that top hatch as well. Oh yeah. Package Fox flexes with Ragnar on his shelf. Crossbearization somewhere is still crying over that. He really, really wanted Ragnar. Really wanted Ragnar. This is beautiful. It's a wonderful part of the process, man. It's the best thing about doing all this masking, right? That Tom Jones version, man, that's where it's at. Let's do one of these so you can't see it, just teasing you with it. Just look at the tape being peeled off. That little peak there. How crisp that is at the front. Only downside of this is you get bits of tape friggin' everywhere. Oh, nearly got a twofer. So that line was one of the trickier ones to get. You see there's a little bit here where it's not quite so smooth. Battle damage. Got you covered in a literal sense. And this is it. It's the last line. Here's the final chevron. It's the final chevron. Do 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 do. Boom. So as soon as all that tape comes off, it looks clean, it looks elegant. There's a little mismatch just at the top here. That's fine. Battle damage. That's literally the answer to everything. When it goes wrong, battle damage. Battle damage. Do you not worry about paint coming off? Nope. We put a thin coat of varnish over the black. But to be honest, the reason I did that is we're doing this on stream, and I want to be focused more on the paint and getting everything here than on worrying about whether the paint would come off or not. I've done this many times. In fact, these two armigers right here only got varnished when they were finished. Battle damage notwithstanding. So we've got another one of these guys to do. We're going to convert up another base for him at some point over the next couple of days. When you get this guy's skeleton converted up, I want to just do some like hacking up of his legs and a little bit of repositioning for this one, make him a little different to the other two that we've got. But we did the torso. We did the shoulder pads here on stream. DK Knowles, get involved. Right, so what we're going to do now, we've still got that mini prize to draw. Oh, wait, I'm on a hype train now because Hiko comes in for 8 months. My brother. Thank you so much. Are we going to do the base on stream? Nope. The reason being is because after tonight, our streams will be taken up by painting the Mystery Mini or the Minotaur or the Obliterator. And not tonight. We'll get him done over a weekend or something. It's no issue. Can you do a karate kick? I could, but that would be dumb as fuck, so I'm not going to. Oh, holy shit! Holy shit, Wu-Tang Clan is coming in. So what we're going to do now, in that case, I've got to put these... Actually, I don't have to put these meeps on. We can do that after, because that's meeps, and we don't need that. So everyone that's just been made a sub, which is Creepy Kangaroo, Fezzix, Blasto the Rocket Boy, Cervantes 74, and Melsuir 04. All of you guys are now eligible to enter this giveaway because you're now a sub. Before we get onto that, I want some hype put in the stream because Wu-Tang Clan has been an absolute boss recently. That's his 74th gift sub for Cervantes 74. That shit was for the guy afterwards, but you know, it worked really well right there. So, there you go, guys. You've got time. If you've just been made a sub, exclamation point, July 20 mini. We'll start going through the whip. We'll do a little bit of that, and then we'll go back on with this contest. Andy's not here anymore. We don't show his fish. We show his crons. So if you would like to get your work put in the work in progress gallery, where we as a community can judge you, I mean, look at your work. Exclamation point Discord. We'll give this 3-4 minutes for everyone that wants to be in that contest for either the mystery box, the Minotaur, or the Obliterator. And we'll do some whipping in between. So Andy, Cryptic Chimera, is painting some Necrons. I think he's actually taken my whip advice from earlier on. No, not yet. So my advice to him is the same advice I give to almost everyone. Great job. You got some great OSL going on. I love it. But you need some more contrast in it. You need to deck those shadows a lot more darkened down. So in between the little gold legs and the scarabs you've got there, darken them down. Around some of these little patches of OSL, darken that recess down. Let the light shine. Been waiting for that one for a while. Nailed it. Bandy, I love this. Great basing scheme. Really contrasts with what you've got going on there. 10 out of 10, mate. Good effort. Scarabs from a different shot. Scarab. Let's move on to the next one, though, which is the Warrior. One of the new Crons with the new fangled Gauze weaponry. And again, it's the same advice to give. Get some dark green wash, ink, oil, whatever it might be. Get into the recesses of the Gauze Flayer. Get into the recesses, especially on a little power pack thing he's got going on there. They need to be darkened down to allow the absolute most bright point to have the biggest contrast with it. Sorry about my voice now. I was trying not to belch. It was really awkward. Crownblade. Paid some Orlocks. Nice. That yellow's lovely. Really good work there. I like that. The base could do with some more shadow. So again, contrast. Almost every single time we give advice on what to improve in the whip, it's about either darkening your shadows or upping your highlights to everyone. You do a great job on the Mini. Every part of that looks good. There's some nice shadows. There's some beautiful highlights. And then you've got a base that looks very flat. That bit just needs a bit more work. You've painted it. You've taken some time. You've painted the rest of the Mini. If you don't apply that last bit, then it's going to detract from the miniature that you painted. And you've done a great job there, so you really should. Hobo J. He's on the boys train. Jake has painted a great number of orcs. I'm not going to give him any advice. He knows what he's doing. He also knows he's got to get them done by the 9th of September before our tournament. So, got to get on that. Blade Mark! How you doing, man? Blade Mark, if you want to enter this month's mini giveaway, ! July 20 mini in the chat. So a quick roll call before we move on. So if I don't call your name out, you're not entered. If you're a subscriber and you're online right now, you want to use that command. ! July 20 mini, as you can see just up here on the command section. If you're not a subscriber and you want to win, be a subscriber. Oh, we got some hype trainer emotes. Thank you very much. So we've got Jager, Crazy Yank, Simondo, Syke, This is Kets TV, Crownblade, Fish, Hobo J, Milo Splat, Datsun Des, Stinger UK, Chimo, OB Team, Andy Evans, Brum, I'll Print You One, Saragon, Jotun Wolfenris, Voodoo Yaz, December Win, Flash and Dash 2000. Wow, there was a lot of entries. The Cookie Grin, Brushlicker, Maladeus, Two Fluke 9, a Johnsonator, Mega Hamster, Abandoned Lost Arms, Ichi, Woodspoon Wargame, Rutan Clan, Main Unit, Daddy Tabs, Twilight Walker, Richton, Merciless, Hurtus, Hicko, Crossbreedization, AJC 72, Breathe Hole 1, Captain Madlove, Smithy Streams, Lordy, Peckish, Ringsting, Puddles Cracker, Griffey, Creepy Kangaroo, DK, Salvirus, Blasto, the Rocket Boy. Is it Rocket Boy? It was Rocket Boy. Shadow Shrine, Mouseware, Blade Mark, and SVGGPHR. Just subscribe, so you need to use that command as well to get yourself in on this giveaway. We got Vindy Titan in there too. So we've got another couple of minutes. 2 minutes. Then we'll do the draw. Let's also, however, keep playing some tunes. Sons of Rolo. 2 down, 1 to go, plus face and base. For my next unit, in your opinion, what do you feel I need to work on the most? Thanks, mate. And Small Soldier 12 getting in on this. Don't forget to use that command, dude. And Macy is here as well. Let's get a shout out for Mr. Mace. How you doing, champ? These are good. These are just good, actually. Okay, let's be a real son of a bitch. I got no issues with most of what you've done here. Your shadows are good. They're dark enough. They add value to your highlights. So on this middle dude, let's just work on him. We've got 1 to go from. The red belt isn't quite up against his stomach. And up here, you could do a more separation between the... I say up here, you can't see what I'm looking at. The necklace thing that he's wearing, right? That needs a little bit more darkness to give it separation from the grey armour. So again, it's all about contrast and darkening those shadows down. But that's not the thing you need to work on most. It's just what stands out to me most, is what I look for. Shadow Wing 2019, thank you for that follow. What you need to work on the most, I'd suggest, is thinning your paints a little bit more than you are for your highlights. So an edge highlight is something that needs to flow off the brush in an effortless fashion. When you pick up paint with the brush should absorb paint from the palette, hold it in the body, the belly of the brush, but not distend the brush. Now, if it does that, your paint is about the perfect thickness to lay down as an edge highlight, because it will just gradually and gently flow off the brush onto the Mini. If it does that, your highlights will be super smooth. They won't have any jagged edges to them, where a bit more of paint has gone on the brush, gone off the brush onto the Mini than somewhere else. And if we look here at the shoulder pad rim on the lower section of the arm that's forward, so that'll be his right arm. A few places around the fingertips, some of the armor plates in on his thigh. You can see that some of those lines got a little bit thick and got a little bit away from you. And that's almost always caused by just not having your paint thin enough. So knock your paint. Oh, holy shit! Macy's gifting some gift subs. Let's quickly screenshot this. So we've got Rare Tears, Wolfwraith, Technocat, Cadian Ranger, Rookie Wookie, and Urzak. All you guys just got gifted a sub, which means you're all now eligible to enter that giveaway. Just going to flick over to here quick while we sort that. Go back to our giveaway bit, our whip bit. So all you guys eligible to enter. We've got till I finish this bit of critique on the whip to enter, so do that very, very quickly. So thin your paint for your highlights. That's the absolute number one thing. And then when you're applying those highlights, make sure you are turning the Mini, changing the way that it's positioned in your hands to try and get the smoothest line on those highlights. And you see slightly more evidence of that if you look at the green pipes that you've got. There's a little bit of highlight you can see there, which looks a bit chunky. Again, it's just the same advice. T-Sol111, thank you for that follow. Hopefully, dude, that helps. You've done a great job. And this is me having to be picky to find fault. Other than that, I mean, do your goddamn basis. How dare you? How dare you? Right, we're going to draw that giveaway now. So we got down to Vindy Titan 1988, SVGGPHR 90586, Macy, Small Soldier 12, Earl Ventry, John is here. You turned up just in time, pal. And Urzak. That is it. 10 seconds left. If you're a sub and you've not entered, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's it. Time up. Time up. This time we will only click the mouse button once. I swear we clicked it once before, but just got back. Was that 5 games and 5 wins? I mean, do you need much practice, John? The winner that can choose either the Minotaur, the Obliterator, or the contents of the mystery box is none other than Polly Wants a Cracker 85. Well done, Polly. You're a winner. So you get the option now, the choice of minis that I've lost. Here we go. The Obliterator. The Blood Bowl Minotaur that I know for a fact that Rocky is absolutely desperate for. No, not seriously. We're joking again. We messed it up. Yes, you won. I even checked the chat just to be sure. Just to be sure. Or the contents of the mystery box. What are you going to go for? In here is a miniature. It's something that's been on these shelves. We've got limited edition miniatures on there. We've got Warcry miniatures. We've got Sigmar miniatures, 40k miniatures. Oh, Polly's going for the box. Now, are you sure? Because it could also be a troll. It could be a Grot and not Makari. It could be a Ripper Swarm. A single old school Scarab, not the funky metal one. Nothing ventured, nothing gained. Okay. We're going for the box. You know it's a gamble. You know it's a risk. You've accepted that responsibility. Rocky may win the Minotaur at a further juncture. Who knows? Here's the box. Let's pop that seal. You've won some sprues and some bubble wrap. Ta! No painting for me to have to do. Way! Woo! Woohoo! So you've won some. Oh, there's a lump in the bubble wrap. Oh, well, there's something in there. There's something in there. Oh, damn, did I accidentally put a mini in the box? No, it's just bubble wrap, clearly. Right. I mean, I proved the authenticity of the bubble wrap. It's good bubble wrap. It's got a good snap to it. The mini that you've won, and I really, really like this mini. I think it's going to be a great thing to paint. Is that an axe? I mean, that bit could be an axe. The suspense is great. That's why I do this stream, is the suspense. Let me have my moment. Ta-da! You've won what I think is an awesome miniature. This is one of the Shadespire minis. And it's the Nurgle Warband. Wrong way. Let's bump this up so you can see what's going on. So, this is the dude with 2 axes. He's got an amazing array of guts hanging out and all manner of other horrible, horrible fucking things going on with this dude. But I think he looks sick in every sense of the word. So we've got a proper Plague Boy dude. He's from the Wurg Splat, I think it's called. Let me grab the box. I'll show you the artwork for him. Worm Splat. That's it. So this is the warband that he's from. He's the rather chubby looking fellow down here. You see him again just there, and there's a painted version on the box anywhere. No, it must be in the instruction pack. He is indeed sick. Oh, I've just torn the box. That was really annoying. But in here, we've got the instructions, and still no painted version of the mini. Got some cards. Somewhere on one of these, there'll be a painted version of him. These look like the wrong cards, because there's no hero card. Oh shit, where's the right card? Maybe it is in here. You Googled his ass. I think you might have needed to. Because I am proving to be inept at... Oh, they don't paint them for this. That's really rubbish. But he is Gulloch the Butcher. And I think he looks awesome. And he looks really, really cool. He's the reason that I bought this warband. There have been a couple of really, really high-level painters that have painted this guy. And they've done a load of non-metallic metal and stuff like that. Which we almost certainly won't be doing, if I'm honest. That's not really my way of painting. But we've got loads of flesh tones on there, loads of armor, loads of interesting bits and pieces. So now all I need from you, Polly, is to know how you want us to paint him. You can send a message on Discord at any time. Make sure you're in there. Give us a direct message. Or just put it in the chat, like the regular Discord chat. Or even this chat if you know already. You can have him in a color scheme of your choice. Anything you want will do. Don't say dealer's choice. Your mini. Your choice. We'll give you plenty of time to think about it while we do the rest of the whip. That is it for the contest. So if that was all you're here for, we're done. But if you would like to see your work in the Work in Progress Gallery, exclamation point Discord, head on over there. We can all take a look together. No Go Warrior. Hey, what's the Florida State flag? I have no idea. Still got a chance to obliterate in Alpha Legion's colours. You do indeed, mate. You do indeed. So here we go. We've given plenty of feedback for Sons of Rolo. I love what you're doing, man. I really do. A little bit of refinement in those highlights, and you are set. Not much for a Nurgle fan, nor of their sick green armor. Okay, cool. So not green. We can paint him as just like a fat, diseased barbarian rather than some weird, like, Nurgle color scheme. But this is the sort of risk-reward of that mystery box. You might get something you didn't necessarily want, but I'm sure we can still do a damn good job of this guy. Farciars. Still a whip because no base, however painting is finished. Oh nice, is that Blood Bowl team you've been working on? Love it, dude. Got some skellies here. A little bit of a fade up to yellow on those shoulder pads that you can see. Again, you could darken down some of the recesses in that red, but I suspect that what we're seeing here is a little bit of, if not camera flash, just a little bit of really, really direct light. You can use him in your D&D campaigns. There we go. So we'll do a fat, old, somewhat chaotic barbarian style fighter. You happy with that? Oh, dude, you did the numbers. Decals or free? That's freehand, right? Yes, it is. Mate. Mate. That's awesome. Right, Play What's a Cracker. That is locked in. We will paint this guy up, and he will do well in your D&D campaign. You want to work on your giant from Zombicide? Awesome. Awesome. Have you got a character in mind for what this guy would be? If so, send me like a little character bio, like the backstory, and we'll try and work it into this dude. Great job, man. Love the fact you freehanded those in, and not only did you freehand those in, like an absolute beast. Did a little bit of a shadow on those numbers too. This is good. We love this. Now you just got the rest of the team to do, my friend. It's got the rest of the team to do. They're great fun to play, though. Right, Danny. Oh, dude, here he is. This is that Nagash that he won. Very, very cool. Very, very cool. Make sure you get your sub-assemblies going on, though, because this guy's giving an absolute unit to paint. It's going to be rough. Gonna be rough. Excellent. Partly glued in sub-assemblies already. He's got it down. So Milo, I tried glazing my ancient. Probably could be better, but I'm happy with the result. Let's have a look here. So there's a few sort of lines, paintbrush strokes I can see, which means your paint could probably still have been thinner, or this is an occasion where you put down some paint and it didn't quite let it dry enough before the next coat went on, and you ended up just tearing that slightly drying surface layer. That happens a lot. Hair dryers obviously help you out, but it's just a case of making sure there's very, very, very little amount of paint in your brush, so you're just leaving a suggestion that you've put paint down there rather than leaving like a blob of paint you can see, and that'll stop that from happening entirely. But you've done a nice blend. You can see where it starts, where it finishes. This is good. Overall, mate, very, very nice. Now you need to do is get some recess shades in there. Like a little bit of a recess, you got a little box between his shin guard and his foot. Get all those sorts of things lined in. Get yourself some nice crisp edge highlights down as well. You'll be looking on point. There you go. And then it's all about that banner, man. All about that banner. Perfect practice for airbrush your agents on Nagash. Yeah, mate, there's loads and loads of ways you can do that. You can go down with like the under highlight kind of white zenithal and then put colours over the top. You can just get some really sick blends going down. Got loads of options. Like it, dude. Keep it up. Saragon. A goal for this project is not to be afraid of contrast and also learning airbrush gradients. What must I do with the airbrush before moving on to brushwork? That's beautiful, mate. Absolutely fucking beautiful. Great use of colours. Alright, bright orange next to blue is my jam. Everything like that punches you in the face with how vibrant it is epic. Things that you should do. Some of your fades have been a little stop-start. Because I love this so much, we're going to just sort of take a bit more of a deep dive onto it. If you look at this orange to red here, you've got your yellow, and that's just, it's because it fits both the top and bottom part of that, and it's kind of square on. It's really just a little bit too much. You just need to feather that out to the sides, and ideally would have left it from being all the way to the top. Difficult to do. There's not a lot of real estate there to play with, and also you can see just about where your mask has been as well, so careful with that. Hey, Creepy Kangaroo, peace out, man. We'll see you soon. You've got a few bits just here. So you've got a little round circle, and then there's a sort of crisp square edge that you can see. And that's again just a little bit where your white has sort of gone down with a mask underneath it, or something else has been sprayed on top of a mask that already existed, and it's left that really crisp, sharp edge. You can just leave the masks off and just sort of feather that in, although I'd be tempted, instead of doing that lower section a brighter white, to darken that down again. Maybe not to the purple that you've got in some of the extremes for the really dark areas, but just go into one of those sort of mid-tone blues and get in there with it. But again, this is, I'm having to be extremely picky with what we've got here, because the mini itself you've done an amazing job on. Yeah, very difficult to find fault. Just some of the blends aren't quite perfect. With airbrush blending and traditional brush blending, it can still be a two-way street. We did that this evening. We took a colour that we used as our sort of base colour, like almost a mid-time. Peace out, man. That we then blended up to yellow, then went over that with white, brought that back down to yellow, and then took our recess and took that even further down to orange. It doesn't have to just be, you'll go it from dark to light. You can mix it up, you can go back and forth, bounce up and down as much as you want to make sure your blends are where you want them to be. So don't be afraid of just going back in and having another go. You see them redo the events anyway, yeah, why not, man? Just carefully mask that off. I'd suggest something like the painter's tape we were using earlier on. Trim out your vent. And what you can do is just basically just cover the rest of the mini in cling film. I use that a lot. It's a really easy technique because there's no real muss or fuss with it. You just put down some cling film, maybe tape it down if it's a loose corner or whatever, and away you go. But I love this, man. Don't forget when you start doing your brushwork to take a small brush and get into every single recess on that mini with a darker tone. You need to take all of those little lines to wash time, or to pin wash time, or to oil wash time, or to fucking carefully just black line in those lines. Whatever you're going to do with it. It could be dark blue, black, purple would work really, really well for this. Because then all of the detail you've got there snaps into focus like a boss. Love it. Kets, peace, man. Different shot. Skyray's looking sick. Very, very sick. The rear engines that you've got, you could just take a little bit when you get to your brushwork of a darker red and just get into some of those recesses to darken those down. We talk about this a lot when we're doing OSL here, and I've got a small example of it just here I can show you if we flick back to this camera. Let's move our Nurgle boy out of the way, or rather overweight fat barbarian with 2 axes out of the way. If you look at this section here, we've done this sort of little bit of glow, not really OSL, it's a little glowing area. After we did that, we went back in and we just hit all those recesses with a darker green, and then came back and just did the tiniest highlight by hand on the extreme ends of these. And that's basically what you've got to do with your engines there. So just get a little recess shade just on top of all of those horizontal lines that you've got at the back, where the sort of brighter yellowy orange is. It just gives you that separation. But I love what you've done, mate. It's absolutely out of this world. Great job. Love that colour scheme. Milo, also a little freehand thing to the flames behind it. Nice, dude. So like we said earlier on, some of the paint you've applied here, you can see is a little thick still, so just keep thinning that down a little bit more. I'd have maybe been tempted to do the flames and then do the head, because fire is just a difficult thing to paint, just in general. Hey man, anytime. Thank you very much for sharing that mini. For the Khan, definitely a good airbrush. I used this airbrush with my housemates, well, on permanent loan, my housemates, Mr. China compressor. Massive upgrade. Massive upgrade. And the airbrush I used, Iwata Eclipse HPCS. Absolutely, I feel the best all-round airbrush you can get. Good work though, dude. Keep it up. Quid. A few Necrons. I'm trying to finish the whole half of Indomitus in a week. Only 20 hours to go. And the big floaty thing I have until Sunday. Dude, you're doing great work though. Nice, man. I mean, you're doing this as a speed paint rather than as a technical challenge. So, you know, we both know there's going to have been corners cut. That's totally fine. We did an entire Nurgle army in a weekend. We cut corners. Sometimes we left the track completely. You know, it's got to be done. I like them, man. They're tasty. Really like what you've got in the bases. That's pretty sick. I think there are a few areas that could do with a little bit more of a wash game put in. So the Necron Warrior in the middle, his gun, you could just get a couple of quick sort of dark lines in around the bayonet looking thing around the top and bottom of those gun barrels. And it's just very, very small bits like that. But that's the sort of thing you can do when you go back in after the fact, just to tidy up something that has been a speed paint project. Good stuff. DK, first nerdy full guardsman, fine design on the colour scheme, and finished trying different things out. Just a couple of details to go. I was going to wait to the basing last, but couldn't resist any longer. Oh yeah. Oh, here it is. Here it is. So DK won a prize, didn't you, DK? Talking about that weekend Nurgle stream that we did. It was definitely a prize one. Firstly, your guardsman looks great. Good color scheme, I like it. The red stands out, but it's not like it's like red or anything, so it still looks like kind of muted tone you'd get on like traditional guardsmen. But the base, that base is something else. Look at those little bits of plant on there. Very sick. Sorry, I'm yawning. It's 12:30 here. It's a bit late. We'll start rattling through some of these a little bit faster, I'm afraid. There you go, look at that. A little bit of that reindeer moss. We've got some of that nice foliage that scatter on the ground. Super good stuff, man. Super good stuff. And genuinely, good job on the guardsman. Just bear in mind that sometimes an army's a sprint, Necron army in a week, remember? Like we've just seen. Sometimes an army's a marathon, which is, I've got a fuckload of guardsmen to paint. And he looks great. It's a good job. Right, Crazy Anked. Oh, shit balls. Here we go. Double Storm Cannon Leviathan. And we've got a custom base going on in the background as well. Leviathans are so easy to pose at legs. It's almost a crime to not do that. Danny Tubbs, totally understand, man. 3 sides of minis to do as well. Dang. Good luck though, mate. Good luck. You can get it done by Sunday. Easy. Here we go. More Marines. Chaplain, Judicia. Looking pretty good. Everything else, more whip. This guy paints so much. Constantly painting. It's crazy. Good inspiration, but goddamn, it's crazy. Don't have that much time at the moment. It's going to have to be more than 2 weeks this time. See? More than 2 weeks to do all that. Duh. For most people. For Crazy Anked, it's like, it's an afternoon's work. DK, that's awesome, dude. Right, Des, working on Indomitus. Also doing more washing and highlights, he says. That they do, mate. That they do. Yeah, you can see that. But they're tidy, they're crisp, they're clean. It's exactly what you want in an Ultramarine. I haven't even thought about the Marines yet. I wasn't, but I am now. To make Crazy Anked last and his crazy throughput. Paints like a demon. Absolute demon. I'm going to try airbrushing the Power Sword tomorrow as well. Des, I need to see that in the whip. Get some cling film. Cover that bad boy up. Airbrush time. How's your weird boy shtick? Any luck? Haven't tried, not gonna lie. When are you picking it up? And is it tomorrow? Because I can get it done tomorrow. I need to basically heat the wire up and unfortunately melt the fine cast. Which is gonna be fun. Torch lighter and a pair of pliers. Sorry, I can get it for you. Like I said I'd fix it. We'll fix it. Swing by here on Sunday over the weekend and you'll have him. Facias, peace out, man. I've just got bread to make. I ain't sleeping for half an hour minimum. Macy, paint some more crons. Nice, dude. Make sure you get those contrasts in there, yeah? What you doing so far? It's good. I like that red. For the Khan! Need a bit of work, but almost there. Yeah, mate, you are. So you could do some highlights on the red, obviously. A couple of edge highlights on things like the sword to really show that glint of metal that you've got going on. Please haven't done the Grey Knights. Sure, we'll do it that way. Yeah, I'd have thought, February till now would have been easy for you. It's good, dude. Maybe for some of the blends that you've got on the habit, then just thin them out a little bit more, get a slightly smoother transition across, but it's looking good. Jotun. Oh damn, we've got some Stormcast. Red and green, I like that. Didn't able to see much from this shot, so they're going to one of the closer ones. Okay. Yeah, I like the colour scheme. Again, same as we've just said with the Sister of Battle. The blends could be a little bit smoother. Hiko, take it easy, friend. But otherwise, this is solid. On the shield of the guy with the red shield facing us, you've gone a little bit outside the lines. So just get some reds and just sort of go back in there, clean that up, and you'll be good to go, champ. We only normally do 3, so let's go to this one. These guys are sick. They've got quite a lot of dynamic movement in them. Some of them. But same story essentially here. So on the paint a little bit thick. Keep thinning that down. Age of Santa scheme. Brilliant. Oh, that's never going away. Oh, me Christmas elves. Yeah, just thin down the paint a little bit more. You can see some visible brush strokes going on. So either get yourself or make yourself a wet palette. I'd always make one. Gonna watch all of the Lord of the Rings movies. I can't think of anything I'd rather not do. Ugh. 4 short asses went on a walk and lost some jewellery. Done. Not my bag, Lord of the Rings. I enjoyed the book when I read it as a kid. I just can't sit through 12 hours of movie. Just can't. You'd rather stuff a pineapple up your bum. Yeah, but when people say, "Oh, I've got to go to the bank," you're like, "Oh, I'd rather stuff a pineapple up my bum." You know, like, "Oh, I've just got to go just pop to the shops and get some shopping." Yeah, I'd rather stuff a pineapple up my bum. You know. Good work there, mate. Wolf Wraith, here we go. This is Poison Ivy's been doing. You get to paint some of the coolest minis, man. You really do. Go to the shop to buy more pineapples. Oh, winning. Mike, great work, dude. Love the contrast. The green's really nice and vibrant, but still also verdant. Green and purple, obviously, go great. Skin tones looking on point. Nice job, fella. 1/8 scale. Shit. So that's like a 10-inch tall mini. Xerxes. How many more of these have we got? Oh, this, mercifully. Whew. This is good, dude. This is good. I like the blue bolter, actually. Because you've clearly thought about that and gone, I need something to stand out a little bit more. Everything else is a little bit dark, and it's obviously from a distance will start to blend into one. So that inclusion of the blue bolter and this your bright red like cord is really, really good. Good skin tone. Everything looks quite tidy. I'd maybe make some of your gold a little brighter, just because from say arm's length, it's probably still looks good. But if you put it on the table, it's probably start melding together a little bit. Just a few extra little touches of a brighter color would really, really help him out. Like what you've done with the base. To me, it looks like it belongs on there. If you look at this picture, for instance. You see, got some basing material all up the side of it. He stood on top of it as well. It looks good. That picture there is the last picture. Look at that one that's just gone in, and that's us done for the night. I am one tired boy. Yeah, I like it, man. And then we've got his mates. Here we go. Rest of the army coming in hot. Got some splashes of green in there. I'm guessing sergeant or equivalent. I see there's one poor unfortunate there that's had an accident. He's got blood all up his arm. He's having a bad day. Look at those blue bolters. Even the guys at the very back that are out of focus. You see that point of interest on them. You know, it's a good decision to do that, mate. A lot of people would have just gone black and the whole thing would have just been a blur of darkness. These are awesome. Well done, dude. Right, let's go find somebody else. I've got to do this guy on the next stream. So, Pilots a Cracker, if you can give me some sort of background, some sort of bio or write-up between now and Sunday on this guy, we can use that to give him some extra character. It'll help inform our colour choices, things that we've got on the base, and so on and so forth. So instead of being a horrible Nurgle dude, he would just be a fat barbarian that's a little bit diseased. He's maybe got a case of the syphilis. Not ideal. But we'll go with that. More like a human than a Nurgle bad man. Let's go find someone to raid on Twitch. Let's see who's streaming. Who we got? Slow Fuse is on. Eeny Minis. Oh, what a glass hammer doing. Thanks for watching screen. Okay, that's that one done. I think because she is one of my favourite streamers, we're going to go and raid Eeny Minis. And if you guys can pass on my apologies for disappearing, I need to make bread, which is going to take me about another half an hour. So 1:15, I should be going to bed tonight. Thank you to all who partook in tonight's stream. I hope you had a great stream. It was giveaway stream. It's always a fucking epic time. We'll see you guys Sunday night, live at 9. Peace out, everyone. Have a good one.
Dude, Mohawkminiatures. Hell yeah, that's a radical man that you all should be checking out. If you don't know already, welcome. I am playing with oils, painting up this fun little tiger priest thing. I don't know, it's super cute. I'm playing with oils today, and I'm gonna work towards this, which was crafted or imagined by a fellow streamer on Twitch. Zambies, I'm gonna draw that, so paint that. How would your stream go? Got reading super late, it's all good. I appreciate bringing your whole community down here. Welcome. How you all doing? Tiger looks sick. Well, thank you. I just started him playing with oils. This is my little palette over here. I have to have him here because if I don't, it's like seizure. It's having a party. So that it's like the, you know, make sure everyone stays in line. I mean the white balance. Some emergency bread? Love it. Well, thanks. Well, welcome, y'all. Welcome. I'm just currently, I'm making a psychedelic tiger.